Welcome to Your Life in Film. I'm your host, Ted Bennett. Joining me this week, Desa Larkin-Boutte. Desa is a writer with first-hand knowledge of America's vast and varied communities. She has worked in the television industry for over a decade, learning extensively from the creative minds behind The Walking Dead, Better Call Saul, and Westworld. Desa wrote the penultimate episode of Westworld, co-wrote. So check that out. I had a great time talking to Desa. We start our conversation talking about current projects and day jobs. What have you been doing recently? What have you been up to?
Oh man, it's been a hodgepodge. So the last proper entertainment thing I was working on, I was working as a development exec for a company called Third Rail, which was founded
Mm-hmm.
by three very talented ladies. One of which, Denise Thé, I met when I worked on Westworld. So that's how we connected with each other. So we had a 2-year deal with Sony, and under that, we were just producing a lot of, or putting together and packaging a lot of really beautiful titles that I was really excited about. So we sold one to Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
So that one is still in development.
Nice.
Our project, or our contract with Sony ended last October.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like there are times, I don't know if you've come across this, I just feel like sometimes you just need to take a step back and just kind of recalibrate again. And so
Yeah.
I've been actually working in nuclear physics for the last
Ooh,
7 months. So,
that's
uh,
fucking cool.
it is. It's really fascinating. Like it's something that, it's really, really interesting because I feel like on the surface, it feels like such a huge shift. But
Yeah.
there's actually a lot of things that I loved about and still love about entertainment that actually come into play. So I work for this company, and we are building nuclear microreactors and a million NDAs. So I'll be like very parsed about like, but it's really, really cool.
No,
And
tell me exactly how you get the fission process going. Like, yeah.
I brought the blueprints. So, but it's really, really fascinating. And I genuinely don't like being the smartest person in the room. I really
Mm,
love being around people who know more. I love being challenged. I love learning. I love being in those environments where I'm picking up new things. And so, yeah, like I'm learning a lot about science and a lot about engineers as people. And
mm.
it's great. It's really, really cool. And then within that, I was introduced to another tech company, and I'm going to be doing I've been hired on to do some creative like brand creation for them. So
Oh, nice.
yeah, so it's been like a really lovely kind of balance of things. So that's my day job. And then on the creative side, I've been noodling with a pilot that kind of takes place more like in the government kind of military side of things, since that's kind of what I'm exposed to now. I'm like, oh, this is
Yeah.
also fascinating. I'm also working on a true crime pilot,
Hmm.
which is I have the outline done, but like I just need to find time to actually write it now. But
Yeah.
so yeah, it's kind of in the sharpening my pen, just kind of getting the next pieces ready and then seeing what the market looks like. But
I think it's a very smart move, sort of moving off and doing something that. I mean, there's transferable skills, obviously, in sort of dealing with people and all that kind of stuff, but moving into a completely different field because then you can give your brain time to uh, decompress everything that you'd already learned,
yes,
but then to be put into a room of completely different people. Like I spent 8 years working in finance, and up until then, I had never dealt with a finance person ever. And now I know exactly how to write those bastards. Like it's
yes,
just
yes,
like, and before then, I wouldn't have known how to write a tech bro. I would have written a tech bro exactly how I would have thought a tech bro was written. When it's actually like, oh no, there's a lot more insecurity, and then there's a lot more sort of stupidity than I'd think, and not stupidity as in it's that combination of like book smart and street smart. They have no street smarts, and you're like, oh, of course, like you'd be like that, and then had you not gone through it, you don't know. You're
yeah,
just so if all of a sudden you're going to write, a government thing and engineers specifically, because I feel like an engineer is so their brain is so like it's an equation. Everything has to be a specific way. And until you understand that process, you're going to be like, oh, an engineer, you can write them like this. It's like, no, 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 no. Like they've got to be very meticulous. And
Yes.
you putting yourself in a completely new environment is always a really good, like, I think that's a really good place for like creativity, because then your brain will still be working on that creative goodness, and then all of a sudden, while you're trying to do something very important, your brain will be like, what about this? And you're like,
Yeah.
ooh,
You're like, oh, okay. Okay.
what about
Yes,
this?
exactly.
Or like you're talking to someone, you're like, this person's a complete piece of shit, and there is my villain. Like, now I know how we're doing this. So yeah,
Yes, yes.
that's nice.
And what's
I will.
really, really,
Sorry. Yeah.
no, no, no. I was going to say what's really interesting is, at leaving development, I definitely had this feeling of it was like a weird career high and career low in that the pieces that we were working on, the people I was working with, like I was working with some of my idols. We had all these like beautiful projects, and then feeling like the market was really shifting away from the types of stories that I wanted to tell. And one of the
Yeah.
notes that, especially after the election, that we were getting was, a lot of studios want things that are political but not political, or like very military focused, right? And I was like, that's not my market. But now, like kind of being on like kind of where I am now, like I think it's been really fascinating kind of seeing the like the policymakers and like the government versus private sectors kind of working on the same thing. And so weirdly enough, I feel like it's positioned me in a place where I'm like, oh, maybe I can write a like political, not political, military thing that actually, yeah, but it feels authentic. 'Cause I think like last year, me trying to pull that out of a hat would be like, oh, here are things that I don't know
Yeah.
how to do. But now, yeah, I definitely feel a bit more versed in that space. So like I have like some broad strokes. They don't feel I don't have the passion yet for it. I have like
Hmm.
kind of more of like a structure, but not necessarily like a yeah, like this is I know what the heart of this is. But in time, this is just like a marinating. So
I think that's a great place to be with it as well, and just acknowledging like, oh, I'm just marinating in this right now. That's cool. Like, I don't have to beat myself up about it because I haven't got the fucking the goodness right
the
yet. It's
sauce,
like
yeah.
I know where I want to go, but until I know it, I don't want to force myself, because then I'm going to write something that I don't actually want to write. And
Yeah.
then you're like, oh. And that feeling of like sitting down and being like, I'm going to write something, and then my head's just sort of like, go on then, big dick. What are you going to write? You got
Yeah.
nothing up there. Like, what the hell do you think you're going to write? You got no idea what you're going to do. And it's like, nah. When you open up, Final Draft, the words just flow, and it's like the words
This
don't
is
flow,
good.
mate.
Yeah.
You haven't got anything, and it's like, okay, well, I'll go do something else then. It's like, yeah, go do something else. Like,
Yes, and I was reading this article that I forgot what it was. It was the difference between sometimes it was basically talking about procrastination, but sometimes it's not procrastination, it's lack of a better word, potential, right? It's like I'm gonna go for a walk, not because I'm avoiding writing, but because I just need to be out in the world. I just need to go look at things and be inspired and
yes.
do a thing. And so there whoever said it was a lot more eloquent than I am putting it right now, but it was a really nice concept of
Well,
like,
thank God you're not a
yeah,
writer. Jesus.
I know. I mean, oh my God, it'd be terrible. So terrible.
No, like, I'm in a bit of a similar-ish situation with that whole procrastination and doing. And for years, I've always been good to just sort of be like, oh, I'm going to go pick up my camera and I'm just going to drive out to the warehouses and just take some really moody shots. And that's just because I want to do it. I've got no reason other than that could be fun. But like, I'm in a deep funk at the moment, in the old depression space. So the idea of like, well, you could go drive 2 hours to Liverpool and go take some photos on the docks. And I'm like, yeah, could do. Not gonna. And it's like, oh, fucking hell. So I've got to break out of that, because I think it's in that similar thing. I need to go find myself something else
Hmm.
at the moment, because my brain is too focused on we gotta write it. We gotta. And every time you're not doing that, you're wasting time. And it's like, I'm not
Yes.
wasting
Oh my
time.
God. That's the hardest thing. I think that's I have that voice as well. And it's something that I'm really bad at relaxing, and I'm really bad at sitting still
Oh,
because, yeah, it just feels like you're wasting an opportunity to better yourself at X, Y, and Z. But
yeah.
also, like, resting is so necessary for just existence.
Yeah.
And like,
But
sometimes you
like,
just need to calm down.
I just got to stop for a minute. Now, Kirsty always says it to me. She's always like, "You're doing something every day this week. Like, in the day and then in the evening. I'm like, yeah. And she's like, what are you doing at the weekend? And I was like, probably nothing, but by Friday I'll probably have that booked out too. And then she's like, when are you going to take time to relax? I'm like, I don't want people to think I'm lazy. So never. I'm never going to relax.
Yeah.
Because if I take a minute to stop, then someone will go, see, you do fuck all. And it's like, ah. So I can't. It drives me mad. I hate that that's a part of my brain. But it's got me out of so many other situations in a positive way. You know, like I'm not the kind of person that can just sit and do nothing. So in those moments of boredom, I learned how to weld, or like I've learned how to fix motorbikes, or I learned how to like I'm technically a qualified carpenter, because in the evenings I was like, I'm going to do carpentry lessons, and that's that. And it's like, why?
I love that
why
so
not?
much.
Why not? You know, what am I going to do?
Yeah.
Sit around and do fuck all? No, I'll go learn something else. So like that has obviously benefited me being like that, but at the moment it's not. So yeah,
It will come back again.
maybe who knows? So you did your Westworld stuff. Well, that sounds like I'm really downplaying it. You wrote an episode of Westworld that was shown, and it was, well received. I believe it was one of the better received episodes of that final series.
Thank you.
So, like, how did you break into that then? Because if that was your first ever gig, well done. But like, what did you do to build up to it?
No, it was a journey, man. It has been a journey. So and sorry, and separately. So I have this thing where I'll answer questions, but I'll give you like such a tangent first, and it drives my son crazy. He's like, just answer the question, mom. But there's
Don't worry,
backstory.
I got the ADHD
So
brain too, so
love it, love
tangents
it.
work.
Let's go. So fun fact, so my name Dessa, it's actually short for Odessa, which is the female version of Odysseus. And in watching the movie, I was just like, oh my God, this is such a metaphor for my career. And it's like, I feel like
Well done.
right? It's just like this idea of you're just trying to make it to a place, right? But then
Mm,
you have all these stops along the way. And each island, it's like its own project and its own like journey, and it's each right. But really, the thing that matters, like the hardest part, is just surviving the water in between. It's like it just became this
yep.
whole like right. So anyway, so I my first like job, I've worked everything in entertainment, so or in TV specifically, but my first real proper job in the industry was on Walking Dead. So I was there seasons 2 through 5. And I started off as a set PA in Georgia. And then I ran base camp. I would chat with the writers every time they came to cover their episodes. There was an opening in LA for a post PA, and I was like, that's closer to the writers. Let's go there. So like they let me transfer, which is amazing. I worked in post for a season. I was the writer's PA, I was the writer's assistant, and I learned so much during that time in terms of I was there for 3 showrunners. So I saw like a lot of like the political kind of side of everything, and just how, what a showrunner means in terms of personalities coming in and like their visions, and kind of seeing how, that variable changes within one show was really
Mm,
fascinating, just like its own science project. But working on set, I fucking loved. Post, honestly, was one of the most amazing experiences I had in terms of informing me as a writer and really understanding like, oh no, that scene's going to get cut later, it's fine, like I can
yeah.
let go of that. Or just understanding how to like write for production, and understand how to like how many different ways a story, like one scene can mean so many different things depending on what angles you're using or what the performances gave. And just it
Yeah.
was such a beautiful beautiful experience. But because there were 3 showrunners, like there was a lot of turnover in those first kind of few years. The writing staff was very locked down to like producer level up, and so
Mm,
there, and this was I joined, like I feel like I started working right at the tail end of the model where you promoted assistants. Like you like
right.
had people, you invested in them, and then like you rose them up, and like I feel like
Yeah.
that stopped like right as I got there. And
Of
so
course.
I went on, yeah, as it
The
does.
ladder has to get
Um,
pulled up at some point.
at some point. And so I went on to work. I left and I went on to work as a showrunner's assistant for a few different things before landing on Better Call Saul. So I was there for 3 years, 2 seasons. I was Peter Gould's assistant, and that was like film school part two. Like I loved like
Mm.
seeing him and Vince on set, like just the giddiness and the excitement and like all of the level of detail to craft was so amazing and wonderful. And then during that time, I had a script at the so essentially every job that I've had, I've like worked my ass off in that job, but then I've also continuing creating on the side. Like I've always done my side projects. While I was there, I had a script at the Austin Film Festival. I had a short that I wrote that Ray Seahorn actually like had her directorial debut on. Like, so like there was things that I was doing outside of work. But there was just no pipeline. Like they're really good at promoting assistants, but specifically the writer's assistant position. So
Yeah.
I kind of did the math of by the time that person moved up, like, and there just wasn't enough real estate for me to actually kind of land where I wanted to land there. And so I had this opportunity to go work in a mini room. I had a boss from Dead who I knew who was developing a show for AMC. I went there and loved it, was in the room, was like breaking, like all the things. The show did not get picked up. Similar thing of like it was in development for a while. New president comes in, things get scrapped. Like it's just
Yeah.
part of how it goes, right? And then so that happens, and now I'm out of a job, and I just need to have something. And then it was one of those things where it's like a friend's roommate was working on this show, and like
Right. Yeah.
right. And so they were on Westworld as a PA and heard that there was a director coming in who needed an assistant. So I was like, okay, well, I've done set. Like, I don't necessarily want to direct, but I also like love this world and I know how to do it and like we can do the thing. So I worked with Amanda Marsalis, who actually just I think she just won something for the pitch. She's really like really beautiful, like just really beautiful work as a director. But I came in as her assistant, and it was just supposed to be for the one episode. So that was it was like season three, episode three, and that was it. I was just contracted for the one. But I got there and fell in love with the writer of that episode, who is Denise Thé, and she has become like one of my just like closest friends, mentors. Like I adore this
Excellent.
woman so much, and we really melded. I really loved, like, I became really good friends with, as you do, like you just kind of know, you start to
Yeah.
know everyone on the cast, the crew, and she got promoted to EP, asked me to stay on as her assistant, and so that's how I finished out season three. And then season four was interesting in that all of the episodes were paired. They were all co-written. And
Mm.
there was one writer who ended up leaving the show. And when he left, like at that time, I had just won Creative Screenwriting's Unique Voices competition. I had a short that was it the same year? Maybe it was after. Yeah, because this was after COVID. I just had this short that was like at like we're doing the festival run with like another short that I had done. So he leaves, and I think it was like that perfect meld of like, okay, here's an opportunity. And not only have I been showing up here, but like here are all the things that like prove
Yeah.
that I've been vetted outside of here. Like I promise I haven't just been sitting around. Like I've got people who
Yeah.
will vouch for me. Um, so yeah, they let me take that spot. So was very grateful for that and had such an amazing time. I mean, it's definitely one of the hardest shows I've ever worked on, but it was really for my first credit. Yeah, it was just like, yes, this is great.
Yeah.
So great. And I loved it so much. And it was a great mix, I think, because I think eclectic is a word that we mentioned earlier. And I feel like that very much speaks to my sensibility. And a lot of what I wrote for that episode it was like action set pieces, but also like the comedic, like little like jibes
Yeah.
here and there. And it just felt like a really good fit for my voice and sensibility. So, yeah, that is the very short story long version of
Nice.
how I
Nice.
got to
I
Westworld.
appreciate it. It's good. It's good for
So,
content. No, no, it's good.
yeah.
I think um, I did wonder actually because with your writing, sort of, if you have to come in on a show on the penultimate episode, and like you'd have thought like that you'd be so like restricted in what you could and couldn't do, because it was like, well, don't tee up anything, don't like leave them on a cliffhanger, because the next episode, like, that's it. So like how much sort of leeway were you given for your episode to write?
Um, it's interesting because, man, it was an interesting experience. Like, okay, and it's comparing it to Saul, for instance, right? Like with that
Mm,
writer's room, everyone is there together. Like every single thing is like beaten out before you move on to like, and I feel like there's like a very specific set of pre-planning that happens before going into production. With this particular episode, I remember like we kind of there was like an episode one or two before that kind of kept getting rebroken. And so when it came to ours, we had reached a point where production wise, like production's already going, we're well into it. We're going to shoot on location in Cabo and New York. And the directive, we hadn't broken the episode yet. We didn't know like what the
mm,
story was going to be, how it was going to land, because obviously we need to kind of finish the, figuring out like what's happening the first two.
yeah.
And so at one point there was a directive of we're going to Cabo in New York, write any scenes that you need for there. And we're like, cool, we don't know what this is yet. So
Yeah.
like that's a kind of like that's cool. So yes, like I think that there was like this fight scene with Maeve and with there's like this beautiful, beautiful set piece like in the water, like between her and um, Tessa's character, and that was I think that was the first thing that I wrote without really there being a lot of context around everything
Mm,
else, like the shape of it. Just knowing we're going to, knowing that these two are going to come to a head, knowing that we're going to need like these kind of things, and then having to almost reverse engineer afterwards.
right.
Based off of now where we know we're ending with six and where what we already have now of seven, like how do we kind of fill in those spaces? But no, it was great. I think you're right in that. Like I think there's so much heart in that one too. Like one of the storylines that I really loved was with Cookie, and like the whole like Aaron Paul and his daughter relationship. I thought was so beautiful, and that was one of my favorite things to write. And so I think that you know I think the one thing that I do really appreciate about Westworld is there wasn't really a sense of shying away from, like one of the things, especially in the early seasons, like you have characters that you fell in love with and then suddenly they're dead, right? It's just like,
Mm.
that's just how it is. It's very, vicious in that way. And so, yeah, we were allowed to have a really, really good time with it, which was nice. It was kind of like the last, like, hurrah before everything got buttoned up. So it was really, yeah, I loved it. I loved it so much.
Excellent. That's great. That's really love to hear, because you always, people, when a show sort of is coming to an end, or when a show has ended, you always think like people have fallen out of love with it, like the creators have fallen out of love with it. And then when you hear that, it's like, no, that's not the case. That's not the case at all. It's like, we still love it. We still want to do it. We are still happy with what's going on. It's just the powers that be have decided, or like you say, like a new head of the studio just comes in. They're like, oh, we don't want that anymore. And why is that?
Yeah.
Because I didn't like Michael Crichton 20 years ago, so I don't want to do anything for him ever again. You're like, okay,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
Jesus, So it's really nice to hear that people are like, I think it's always nice to hear that people give a shit. It's that, like, it
Yeah.
sounds silly, but I've worked on a few projects where you can tell everyone's just doing it for the paycheck, and you're just like,
Mhm.
oh, you people need to get out of here, because there are people that would kill for this job, and you don't want to be here. That's not
Yeah.
cool, man. Like,
And to be fair, like at the time, we didn't know that it was going to be the series penultimate, right? Like there was definitely a plan for another season after.
mm,
And so I think that also kind of, to your point, gave a bit more flexibility because, we weren't going into it knowing, okay, like, this is it and let's,
yeah,
hunker everything down. So that news kind of came a bit after the fact, but um, yeah, there's definitely a lot of love, a lot of love there, and yeah, we'll see. I'm excited. I heard that there's a movie that they're going to do. They're remaking the movie version, so I'm excited to
oh
see
really?
how that goes. Yeah.
Hmm. That movie is very good. Have you seen the original
It's
movie?
so good.
It's
Yes.
so good.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, yeah. Like,
And
yeah.
terrifying.
Yeah, genuine. Like, I think they did. If you were to like the movie in the first series, I think it's amazing that you can tell this the same story, but the same concept of a story, but give it to me in two completely different ways. In the sense that like I don't feel like they just rehashed it. They were like, oh no, this is nice. This is the right amount of in depth while still retaining what we should be having. But that
Mm.
the first, I guess, Future World would be the second film, but the first film was very much like, ooh, well done. But then again, I'm a big Michael Crichton guy, so I don't think he's done too many bad things. But um, so growing up in Georgia, and you know, working on film sets, were you? I was going to say, when did because everything used to be shot in Wilmington, and then it all moved over to Georgia, didn't it?
Yes. And I feel like I was kind of I'm a cusp baby, I guess. I feel like everything I was doing, like I was on the cusp of
Yeah.
transitioning. Because when I first, so I graduated from school in 2010, and I moved. So I was in
Hmm.
Boston for school, and I moved back to Georgia afterwards. And I remember this feeling of there were a few things that were shot there, but for the most part, everything was still very LA based. Everything, yeah, was kind of a bit further north. There wasn't really the infrastructure that there is
Yeah.
now. It was definitely not at all like the hub that it is today. Um, and so, finding that job, it was, uh, can I go on a tangent? Is that okay? I'll tell you
Go for
about,
it.
okay.
I
Okay.
want that tangent.
Uh, it was, finding that job was really interesting and kind of, I knew that I wanted to work in TV. I went to school for it. That's the only thing since I was 8 years old was like, I'm going to be a writer. I'm going to do these things. Like, that's all I wanted. And so I moved back to Georgia and I spent a year just kind of doing odd jobs here and there, trying to figure out like how to actually make that happen. And then I had some friends from school who were visiting from Boston, and I was walking them. We had just hiked Stone Mountain, like we were walking around the city, like I am sweaty and disgusting. And there was something shooting. And so I just walked on to set, and I was like, "Hey, who do I talk to about working? I want to work as a PA. Who do I talk to?"
Mm.
And the medic put me in touch with the first AD, who was the loveliest woman, and there's no reason she should have hired me. Like there was zero
No.
reason.
No.
But she's like, yeah, sure. So she gave me a
Bloody
job
hell.
and
Yeah.
it was amazing. And then she, put me on the call sheet. And I remember I showed up my first day of work an hour late because I didn't know how to read a call sheet and still was very nice. She didn't fire me. She's like, all right, well, get
Hmm.
out there. And then the other PAs that I was working with, like I had just come from film school. I'm like, I owe a house in education now, but yet I know
Mm.
nothing about the actual like logistics of how to do this. And everyone was so gracious with their time and they taught me how to like proper walkie etiquette and how to not sound like an idiot and how like this, that, and the other. And so I definitely fumbled some things for sure, but they were so lovely. And then it was a pilot called Hail Mary with Minnie Driver and Brandon T. Jackson, who you might remember from Tropic Thunder. And like I was so excited about it. And like the first job I had there, they're like, make Minnie Driver some tea. I'm like, oh, okay, I can do that. And
Okay.
so, right, I'm in it. I made it, you guys. And then it didn't get picked up. The pilot didn't get picked up. I worked for them for a week. Everyone went back to LA, right? Because
Hmm.
yeah, like you said, wasn't really a lot of things that actually existed in Georgia. And so then I had this very silly idea. It's like I just want to get back on set. I don't know how to do that. I'm just gonna be an extra and as many things as I can, and
Right.
then that way I'm there and I can talk
Yeah.
my way back into being a PA, which worked in a way that I didn't quite expect because no one likes talking to the extras. It is a
Mm.
wild subculture of people, uh, and but I was on set for the Three Stooges movie,
Oh,
and
nice. Cinema.
and right at its finest. I only do high end. Um, we're very classy over here.
Very, very
Uh,
class.
But I ran into a guy that I worked with on the pilot. He's like, "Oh, I didn't realize you weren't working. I will call you the next time something comes up." And so then a few weeks later, he called. He's like, "Hey, I'm on this show. Someone's sick. Can you come fill in?" So I was like, "Yeah, absolutely. I'll be
Yeah.
there." And I was juggling three part-time jobs at the time, and I had to call out like of all three that week. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna lose all my jobs." Um, but it was great. They only need me for the day, but then they invited me
Hmm.
back the next day. They invited me out to finish the week. And so I was a day player for the first, little bit of time. And then I ended up just finishing out the season with them. And that was season two of The Walking Dead. And what was so wild about it was like no one knew the show yet. Like prior to this, like
Yeah.
while we were filming, yeah, like it had a very small following. But again, being on the cusp of things, I feel like seeing it kind of blow up afterwards was so amazing and wonderful to witness. Also, I've realized in my life, I feel like, do you remember in Forrest Gump, like kind of there's like that montage of how he's just like at all these really big,
Yes.
like, that's how I feel. I feel like I've just kind of like
Nice.
shown up
Nice.
like
Yeah.
at all of these things. Like
Just
I may
shaking
not be the one
Scorsese's
steering it,
hand saying, "I've got to pee."
right? Exactly. Exactly. It's just like a lot of like when I think about like all the little pieces that have come together, it's like, oh, this has been really fun. I've done I feel like I've been very lucky to like be on the peripheral of like a lot of
Hmm.
really cool things. So
No, there's some good shows to be attached to. I think it's ridiculous that like when you hear people doing it, you're just like, oh, those are three huge shows. But you're like, yeah, but in season two of like Walking Dead, it wasn't a huge show, and like because I know Charlie, the guy who wrote the original comic, drew the original comic, and like I remember he went off. He's an extra as a zombie in like the first episode or something because Frank Darabont directed it, so it was all let's get everyone in and make it a big show. And when Charlie got a screener for like the first series, which was only like what was it, like 6 episodes, the first
hmm
series or
hmm
something, like,
hmm
and he lent it to me, and I think I watched like two of them, and I was like, it's fine, Charlie. Like I'm not a big zombie guy, like it's like to this day, I think Charlie and I have watched one zombie film together, and it's enough. It's enough. Um, so yeah, like that. Even in like our circles, like we knew about season one of The Walking Dead, but we only knew it because it was our buddy's show. Like our
Yeah,
buddy got it picked up, and then all of a sudden, I think I blinked, and it's you know
everywhere.
like
Yeah,
Charlie's doing very well off the back of it, and he isn't even a producer. Like that's
yeah.
how big it is, and it's just like, oh fuck, all right, shit. So being like attached to those things, it is always, yes, Better Call Saul is the spin-off of a huge show, but so was Joey, and that was not as big. It turned out that Better Call Saul was actually a better show than Breaking Bad, but it's like you don't know these things. Like you just take the job and you hope, and
Yeah.
having the heart, having the sort of desire to be like, no, 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 I love this shit. I want this. I want this to work. Like that's when they work. Because if you turn up just sort of like, I want to be on, I don't know what's a big show at the moment. Like I want to be on that show right now, and it's like, well, you don't want to be on that show right now. You want to be on the first series of Silo when that came out. You want to be on
hmm
first series, second series of things that are kind of building, because then you're with the ride. You can maybe affect some change further along the line. But I don't know. It's good stuff though. You saying that you did like you knew from 8 that you wanted to be a writer. What was the what did you accidentally pick up a screenplay? And you're
No,
like,
no. And this is
I
this
don't
is
know.
gold. Um, I realize in sharing the story, I sound like such a masochist, but it was a school project. And so a friend, one of my classmates, his father worked maybe for CNN. I don't remember, one of like the bigger like broadcasting kind of
Hmm.
places downtown in Atlanta. And we got to tour like the editing bay. We got to kind of go around like the things. But as part of our project, we had to make a commercial, right? Like that was our
Oh,
our thing.
nice. Yeah.
And I remember spending just stupid, copious hours working on this. And then by the time it's done, it's like this big, and just like it
Mm,
was so maddening. It's like, wait, we just
mm.
did all of this work, and this
For
is the
this.
only thing
This is
for
all we're
this,
getting?
right? Right? But
Oh, yeah.
somehow I was like, "Oh, I want more of this." And so like that just became the thing. And like I always loved writing. I mean, I was a big reader. And I loved storytelling. And I think that, but that I think kind of gave me a medium in which I was really excited about. And then but I always thought I was going to be a feature writer. I always thought that that's what I wanted to do, was I wanted
Yeah.
to write and direct features. And then going to college, like I feel so strongly that college is not about the degrees. It's more, you kind of learn what you do and don't
Mm,
like, right? And
yeah.
no one's ever asked me for my transcripts,
Yeah,
which is good
exactly.
because,
Thank fuck. Thank
right?
fuck.
Right.
I had like
Um,
one place say like, "Do you have a copy of your of like your transcripts?" And I was like, "Yeah, of course I do." And then having to go like buying another copy because I was like, "I didn't save those. Like, no one's ever asked for them. They're in a folder
no,
somewhere. I'm not doing
yeah,
anything." And then like
yeah.
looking at it and being like, "Oh, I didn't lie. I did get that degree. Oh shit.
This happened. This
Well
happened.
done me."
I, I thought I did a lot better in school than I did. I had to pull up my transcripts because there was a time like in between seasons, like I was getting like my teaching credentials just to like be a sub to kind of like float in
Yeah.
between, and I needed to get my credentials. In my head, I was a fucking like A student, and
4.0.
then right 4.5, and then I
Oh.
look I look and it's like all C's minus my writing classes. Like my writing
Yeah.
classes were the only A's that I had. And I was like, oh, I don't remember this at all, but okay. All right. I guess that's validation, but yeah, so so that kind of I think gave me this love of cinema, of like I just loved going to the movies. I loved like all the things. And then it wasn't until I got to school, the very last semester I had in Boston, I took a class on writing for television. I was like, oh, this is really fun. I actually really like this medium. And then also in Boston, I think that's when I kind of found how I wanted to use my voice. Because I
Hmm.
worked I did a lot of sketch comedy, which is funny because I thought I was going to go into comedy. And then my first job out was like zombies. And I've been only in like hard genre since, but
Yeah.
it's great. Um, but I remember we were pitching sketches, and there was this one woman that I went to school with, and she pitched this sketch of, I remember it was like a bunch of guys coming back after a night of like robbing, and they're kind of going through like all the stuff that they got. And like one of the jokes was like this guy went and like rob the library, and it's like, oh, because it's real, all the things. But she ended it with, I just don't know if we have enough black guys to cast. I was just like, oh no, oh no, oh dear. And oh
As the
man.
police, right? As the good guys,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yes,
That's what
yes,
you
yes.
mean?
That's the good guys.
Please?
That's yeah,
Please,
yeah.
that's what you
Yes.
say?
It's like, oh
I
dear.
just don't
And
know if we can convince everyone that these thieves are real thieves, you know? Like, I don't know. They're not white collar.
I
We can't make them. Jesus.
how will they know? How will people know? And so
How will they?
like, I just
Balaclavas and duffel bags. How
oh
do we know these
man,
guys are the bad guys? I don't understand.
I can't. I mean, blackface is the only option, clearly. So like it just before it got banned. So, and I just remember and there was like a lot of things that would kind of come up because growing up in Atlanta, I grew up, I guess like 50-50 in terms of like population, black, white. And then I left
Mhm.
Atlanta. I was like, oh, 12%? That's what this means? Okay, I get it. And so like I think it kind of was like a big shift in recognizing um that for a lot of people, the only thing that they knew about me or where I came from was what they saw on TV. And this
Yeah,
was
yeah.
pre-Shonda. This was pre like, like this was still the age where, we weren't in positions to be the heroes often.
You were the
And
comedy sidekick. That's what you guys were.
exactly.
Like,
Exactly. Like, that's it, right? And so recognizing how dangerous that was, because for her, the word criminal and black were synonymous, right? And so like that is so dangerous for people who actually exist out in the world. And so I think at that point I was like, all right, I want to write things that are still fun and are still entertaining, but I want to at least like broaden the scope a bit because this is a
mm,
problem. This is a huge
yeah.
problem. So, man. Yeah. So 8 years old. I wanted to be a, I wanted to be a writer.
I love it. It's like, oh, what was the thing that made you first? Racism. That's what it was. It was goddamn racism that made me want to be a writer. It's like, okay, from 8. Shit.
For me. Oh man.
Oh, nice,
Anyway,
nice.
yeah, yeah,
It's not. I like it that we were about similar ages when we discovered the thing that we knew we wanted to do, and people very rarely believe me when I say like, oh, I watched Jurassic Park, and it finished. I was so impressed, and the first thing that comes up is directed by Steven Spielberg, and I thought I want to do that. He made that. I want to do that because that was
yes,
amazing. And everything I have done from 7 or 8, whenever I watched it, has been in sort of service of that. And people are like, "Oh, you didn't actually think that," and it's like, "Yeah, I did. Like, I assumed everyone wanted to be a filmmaker. I assumed everybody wanted to work in Hollywood." And then you hear people like, "No, I've always wanted to be a mechanic," and I'm like, "On telly? Like, why? What do you mean?" Like, I just assume everyone wants to work in media. And
yeah,
yeah, it's nice when someone else is sort of like, no, 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 I knew. I fucking wanted this and I was going to get it.
yeah,
So that's nice.
yeah.
Did you have, like, film and TV parents? Not as in the industry, but like, were they big film fans?
So yes, I think I think about my mom because I grew up with a single mom, and for us, like Friday nights were Blockbuster nights. We would go to Blockbuster, we would rent our movies, we'd come home. My brother and I would share one. My mom would have hers, and like that was
Yeah.
you only had two, right?
Yeah.
So you
One
had-
for the boys, one
and
for us. That was how we had
right?
it.
Yes. And I think that was such a routine. Like we didn't have cable growing up. And so that and
Yeah.
I remember like going to the movies was always like such a beautiful like I loved going to the movies. And that was a big thing that my mom really, I think, instilled. And it's been interesting because I feel like, you know, with that like with that time period of not having streaming and a thousand things at your
Mm.
disposal and with the kind of renting culture when you bought a VHS like you were making a statement like your row
I'm
of
gonna watch
VHS.
this. Like,
Right.
this
I'm
is
gonna
what I
watch it a
watch.
lot. Yes, this is who I am. This is like you
Yeah.
made your identity based off of your VHS collection. And then like that was what you cycled through. And then when you would go to your friend's house, you're like, oh, what's that? I don't think it was almost like
Mm.
a trading of like
You
of
got this?
personality.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize there was a third Lethal Weapon. I got to watch this one as well.
Right.
Like, there's no way
Yeah.
of
So
knowing. There's no way of knowing
no,
because I
it's
haven't got
not.
IMDb yet.
Exactly, exactly. And so I think that I don't know, I feel like for me, the idea of movies was just very communal, right? It was
Mm.
just very, you're sharing and swapping stories and ideas. And I think that's something, that I really love about it. Or at least I think with good filmmaking, the concept of finding common ground with someone is very
Yeah.
much still at the forefront, right? I think we've definitely gotten away from that a lot, and that it's like it's just entertaining, but the movies that really just like reach across an aisle or just like hey like let's figure out something that is a universal truth to people across like multiple mediums and demographics I think is really still for me what really gets me yeah
Also, like, learning about world cinema. Like, I was a big Jackie Chan fan. Like, I still am, but like, I was a big Jackie Chan fan growing up. And my mum, we used to go to Hong Kong every year for like buyers fairs. Like, she was in interior design. And she would come back with VCDs of like Jackie Chan films. And then I would be like, oh, cool, like I'll watch these. And that, as like a kid, you're then told like, well, here is an entirely different like type of cinema. This isn't
yes
Hollywood, this isn't English, and this isn't, we grew up with a lot of European cinema, but like this is a Hong Kong cinema. It's its own thing. And then because of that, I think Hong Kong cinema is one of my favorites. It's up there as like top 5 for sure. And like as a kid before having the internet, there was no other way of understanding. I know what China was because we had UK schooling, so we were taught about other countries. I don't want to speak for Americans. But like, it wasn't until I had watched like a lot of the cinema that I was like, oh, I get it. And like, I learned some Cantonese because just watching the same kind of language sort of being used in films, you're like, oh, okay, I kind of understand that. And I don't know if people have that as much anymore, because you can watch Squid Games and that's great. South Korean cinema is perfect, but if you've been given this beautiful 4K subtitled and here it is, it almost just becomes like, oh, I'm just watching Hollywood.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
And that's that. Like, I'm not watching video quality on a CD, like, and it's dreadful, so the subtitles don't really work. So I've got to focus here. And am I entertained? I think I'm entertained. That guy's doing a backflip. That's pretty good. And like, you kind of have to really like dig in and like appreciate it a lot more. And I think that I wonder if, I wonder if kids are missing it. Does your kid?
I think so.
Like, do you expose him to sort of?
Oh, I expose him to a lot. It's so it's something where like my brother and I. So when my brother and I were growing up, we would go through phases where we would just like knuckle down like on a genre and just like inhale it. And then, right.
Yes.
So we went through, like our Monty Python phase. We went through our Bond phase. We went through our like, let's watch as much like House of Flying Dagger and Hero as we can. Like, let's just like all the things. And so for my son, he and I, like, we go see everything. We are huge, huge, huge. There was one year where I remember he was kind of on the cusp of like being a younger kid and kind of getting into older stuff, but we saw like Inside Out and also Planet of the Apes, like the same kind of like,
oh, nice,
same, right? Now he's very obsessed with the 90s. And so I love showing him, I know, it's like doing it right. I just got him on the X-Men cartoons, not 97 yet, but like the ones that came before.
The original,
Yes. And so, like we're kind of going through a very kind of zigzagging our way through the 80s and 90s. So we like watched the Terminators, and then we also watched Encino Man. Like, and so it's
nice,
just kind of,
But like Encino Man, like as a kid, that was one of those films where we had it off. I think we recorded it off the telly. So to us, it was like, it's called California Man over here because we wouldn't know what Encino was. But like, we had California Man, and like, you watch it, and then all of a sudden you're like, well, this guy's funny. Who's this Pauly Shore guy? And then I watch Biodome, and then I watch You're in the Army Now, and I watch all of these crappy like Pauly Shore movies.
And the Goofy movie.
Right? I mean, come on. That's good movies.
Such a good movie.
And then like when The Mummy comes out, I'm like, oh, that's my boy Brendan Fraser. Like,
can we talk about The Mummy? That is one of my all-time favorite movies. Yes. People sleep on this, and it is like hands down one of my favorite films that I go back to time and time again. It is hilarious. It is action-packed. It is scary. You've got your romance. Like, it's all of the things that you need.
And what a romance. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my God.
Brendan Fraser and Rachel Weisz.
And he's so like nervous, and so like when he's like first talking to her, and just like I think like there's so many tiny details of that movie that the performances are great, the comedic timing is great, like there's so like I love it so much.
There's such a vulnerability to his masculinity which you don't get anymore. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Here's a guy who is tough as nails, taking care of business, but he still is afraid to talk to a pretty girl. And it's like, that's what we should be telling boys, not if they reject you, fuck them. And it's like, no. Like,
and not only is
insecure.
she pretty, she's also really fucking clever. And even though she hasn't made it to that level of her career that she wants, like she is still super like he sees her as a successful, accomplished person, even though she doesn't see it in herself yet. And it's like, oh, so good.
Kirsty and I, like, her last name is Strawbridge, mine's Bennett. We always said that, like, we're not going to get married, but if we ever got married, we would, like, do the portmanteau where you, like, kind of make a new name altogether. And it's Bembridge, which is the Bembridge Scholars. Yeah. So we're always like, it's the Bembridges over here, and we're like, we're the Bembridge Scholars. So, yeah.
I mean, yes. I support this. Yes. Very, very much.
Worth getting married just for that.
Just for that, yes. No, it's so good. And and like, yeah, like my son knows that that's my favorite movie. And like, I think partially he refuses to watch it because it's like too much pressure on him to read it. But, I take him, we do, out here in LA, we have this thing, street food cinema, which is one of my favorite things. And I'm sure every place has like their own version of it, but, they just like, throughout each month, there's a different lineup of movies at a different Los Angeles location, and
Hmm.
it's outdoors. You sit on the lawn, there's food trucks all around. And so, I've taken him there, and like we've seen Back to the Future, we have seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, we watched Birdcage not too long ago. And
Oh,
so I think
lovely.
that so good. Yeah. And so I'm
Yeah.
really trying to expose him to a wider range of films because that's what I had. And I think it does, to your point, it does open up your global perspective, right? Like I grew up watching my dad's favorite movie that was on VHS whenever we'd go over to his place was The Gods Must Be Crazy, which I don't know if you're familiar with this movie,
Yeah.
but like, it is
That's
insane.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah. Like
like
that front cover, like every time I saw it in the VHS like shop, I was like, the fuck's going on with that? Like what is this film? I gotta watch it.
yes,
Like,
right? And that would never pop up today. Like that's just like not
no.
something, for better or for worse. But like I think and that and oh gosh, they're just and like my best friend growing up, like her family, like they watched a lot of Bollywood. So like Devdas was what one of my favorite movies growing up, and like Shah Rukh Khan is God was like such a
Mm,
crush that I never would have had that exposure without the swapping of stories, right? And I think
yeah.
that that is such a that is the most basic human thing that we have is sharing stories with each
Like
other.
we sat around the campfire and we shared stories. That's what we did from day
Yes,
one. Like
exactly, exactly. So to your
let's
point, when things get too Hollywood and too like of the same model, uh, just
mm.
ew.
So I think that's led us quite nicely into what was the first film that you saw at the cinema.
So I had to call my mom about this one. I gave her a call
Mm.
because the first one that I remember was Beauty and the Beast. And I remember
Okay.
being really scared when the beast like raged out, as I should have
Yeah.
been.
As you should
Um,
have.
yes, and she remembers she offered a correction, which I feel like it's still fine. She says it was The Little Mermaid before that.
Okay.
But I was probably I was young. I was young. That was the one that I watched the most, like on VHS at home. But the first that I remember is Beauty and the Beast. And yeah, just being really freaked out. That's the only scene that I remember from from
But
being
that's
in the
fair
theater,
though.
just
Like
hiding.
that is a spooky like the beast is beastly. Like he's not I don't know, like they do such a good job of it being so gothic and odd that you just do are a bit like, what is going on? And as a little and like it is like, what is going on? Like
Yeah.
that though I went around to a friend's house a few years ago and he had Beauty and the Beast playing on the TV. And I was like, oh, sick, I haven't seen Beauty and the Beast in years. And he was like, really? Because I've watched it 6 fucking times this week and it's Tuesday. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, I won't bring that up with you.
Oh man. Yeah. Yeah. It's like just on rewind, on
Yeah,
rewind.
I don't know how parents do it. Like, I mean, I will say, my mum used to do a thing where if she loved a film, she'd watch it, rewind it, and just watch it again straight away. The
Mhm.
Mummy was one of those. Like I still have my VHS of it down there, and then I've got my
Yes.
oh that's can you see that's the I don't know if you can see it, but it's like the Mummy box set of 1 and 2, but it's done
Yes.
in a bit like the Book of Amun Ra.
I
Um,
love that.
yeah, it's nice, and that thing of just like having to watch a film over and over and over again. Like, do you think that was because we only had the
Yes.
VHS?
Oh, a
Like,
thousand percent. A thousand percent. I think that yeah, and it became something that you loved, right? It's like just like a
mm,
book or like something like I feel like it's a thing that I feel like there was more of an emotional attachment to like
yeah,
this is my comfort VHS. Like this is my comfort cassette, right? And something I will say I do think my son goes back to movies that he enjoys. So I won't say that that's been lost, but I definitely think that it was more we were more tethered. We are more tied to those things, I think. Um I do feel sorry. Kids movies. I love kids movies. I was really mad at Peter Rabbit. Sorry. I had a lot of I was so mad. I was so mad.
as
But
in the the newer ones with James Corden. Yeah,
Yeah, I
fuck
took
it.
my son to see him, and I was like, the rules of this world make no sense. Can he talk or
Mm,
can he not? I don't understand. There's like a lot of just basic storytelling that I got really upset by. But um, for the most part, I still love kid movies. I do think that the ones that we had in the 80s were so much darker and so much like,
yeah.
do you remember The Last Unicorn? Like that was such a,
No.
oh, okay. All right, you guys need to watch this. Please watch this film. And then
Let
like
me get it up.
email me
The
after and
Last
let me know what you
Unicorn.
think. Yes, Mia Farrow, Jeff Bridges, I think, plays the prince. It is fucking dark. So it is she plays a unicorn who is the last of her kind because there's like a fire bull that is like killing all of her people. And so then she gets turned into a human accidentally, but it's like to disguise her to keep her safe. But then she falls in, or Jeff Bridges falls in love with her. I can't, I never felt like she had a thing for him back, but,
Yeah.
um, and then at the end, I think they like defeat the Red Bull like fire
Yeah. I
thing.
recognize that poster
Yeah,
for
and
it.
then, she turns back into a unicorn and he's sad because, bestiality is illegal. But like it's just a whole thing of like it was just dark and sad and just like really
Mm.
tragic. And I feel like uh those in kids' movies, I feel like they just informed us a bit more than
Yeah. Like, I think
yeah.
you've really got to dig down into a kid's film now to it not just be like quite slushy and silly. Like I remember feeling in Sword and the Sorcerer when he stops being a squirrel and the little girl squirrel kind of like she loved it, and I remember as a kid being like, "Well, my heart's broken. I can't deal with this. Like that's too much for me as a kid." Like I
Too
was soft as hell
much.
as a kid, but even I was just like, "This is too much. This is
Oh
too
my
much for me."
gosh. The one that broke me as a child, do you remember, did you ever see A Little Princess?
No, but we had someone
It
else on the
was,
pod, Sophia Zolan, and she mentioned that film.
it is heartbreaking. And I watched it right around the time my parents got divorced. And I realized that there was this whole scene that maybe, they mentioned to you where, so there's this Sarah thinks that her dad's dead, but really he's actually living across the street, but he has amnesia. And she's like on the run from the cops. It's a whole thing. And she gets there and she
Across the
sees her
street with
dad.
amnesia.
Yes, because he was in the war. He was in the war. And there's a bit of like, magical brown person that happened in it, but like
But
so
was also
it's just
they were also a criminal, weren't they? Right? They were magical, but they
also
were also
yes, yeah, you
yeah,
can yeah,
yeah.
because you can't not be. Because it took place like during colonial India time, and it was like World War I, I think. So she grew up in
Okay,
India, grew up with storytelling, and goes
okay.
back to New York for some reason. That's where her mom went to boarding school, and her dad was in the war. He saved someone, but like their tags get mixed up, so he's doesn't remember who he is, but he
So
has
it's
like
Madman.
someone.
It's Don Draper.
Yes. Don Draper took, yeah, he basically Don Draper this guy, like took his name, but he ends up, the father of the guy, of the person that he saved, lives directly across the street from the boarding school where his daughter is. And then the guy who lives there, they're being taken care of by this Indian like butler who
Mm,
I don't feel like was like fully magical, but like they added a bit of like the only person of color also has like some sort of like mysticism, right? But
obviously,
uh
obviously.
obviously. But like Sarah in the orphanage makes friends with like the only black girl who's there, who's also there as a servant because it's a whole like racism, right? Anyway, there's this scene where all the bad things are happening. It's like the end of Act Two, so like all the drama's going down, and Sarah, because her parents were dead, like had to work like as a servant. It was a whole thing. But anyway, the headmistress is awful, accuses her of stealing. She like the cops are after her. She runs across the street and she sees her dad. And she's like, save me. Like I'm being
Mm.
chased by all these, huh? And he does not remember her. And like the cops are like pulling her away and she's like reaching out to him, just screaming, like, Papa. And he just like does not remember her at all. And
I
it's
feel
just
like
like
the guy just being like, I don't know you. What are you
I don't
fucking what are you
know.
doing?
Like, oh, don't I don't like
She's
kids.
trying to be at the police like, I don't know this kid, all right?
Right?
Whatever she says is a lie, okay?
That's
Never
actually when the
seen her.
amnesia started. It was
Yeah.
selective, but
He's just like, yeah.
No.
Nuh-uh.
Oh my God. But I just remember sitting there and just sobbing because it was just so gut-wrenching. And yet I would rent this movie
Mm,
over and over again because there was something about just like being stabbed in the heart, which is that was
yeah.
so addictive. I guess that's why people eat really hot peppers sometimes. It's like it hurts, but it hurts so good.
Yeah, I think, yeah, that's the same feeling. What are you on about? Love and peppers. You think it's the
No,
same
the
thing?
pain, the pain of it, of just like, just like, I think about like Legends of the Fall and The English Patient, where like it's just so
Right.
torturous, right? It's just like,
Okay,
oh,
yeah.
like it's just like it's painful and just like, mm. But yeah.
Yeah,
And
fair enough.
we go back for them. So,
That's true. Like, I can't think of the last film that really made me, like, weep. Like, there has been
oh,
one
yeah.
recently, I can't remember what it was, but there was something that I remember just being sat there, just doing, like, the stoic single tear and just holding in the emotion. It might have been, no,
Yeah.
no, no. It wasn't the ending of 6 Feet Under, because I bawled like a fucking child in that, like, that ending. But, yeah, it was a film, I can't remember what it was now, but, oh well.
That was Hamnet for me. I went with two
Oh,
other mom
really?
friends, and it was just three moms crying for like 2 hours. It was
Nice.
That
Nice.
should be the title of the film. Um, it was so good, but oh my God, and that final act, the whole thing, it was really really good. But we were just like just all of us just drenched by the end.
It's good though. You gotta. I think I love it. I love a film when it's really fucking just grabbed you, and it's like
Yeah.
you're gonna feel so many things. You're not gonna like that you're feeling these things, and you're just gonna go, and it's just like, yeah, take it, go on, give it to me. I love that. I love it. It's the worst when I'm just sat through a film numb, and I'm just like, that's the
Yeah.
worst. Like,
Oh
make me
man.
feel something, even if it's anger. Like, you fucking
Yeah.
idiots, you've written this dreadfully. Why have you used that lens, you fools? And then, you realize it's Deacons, and you're like, oh, shut up.
I'll go sit down now. It's fine.
Um, so you mentioned one of the films that you watched over and over again as a kid, but what was on your VHS shelf, essentially?
Oh man. Yes, so definitely so Little Princess over and over again. My brother and I were really big Aladdin fans. Like there's something about that, like
Hmm.
we could memorize that like back and forth. Um, that was a big one. So this one was an interesting one. My mom also mentioned this years ago, but I don't know. Okay, so it was a TV movie series that came out. So Alex Haley did Roots, and then he followed it up with a miniseries called Queen, which was about like the other side of his family, about his grandmother.
Okay.
And I remember when this came out, my mom specifically mentioned that she's like, "You were really sad about the divorce," and then that miniseries came out, and you were obsessed with it. And I was like, I don't remember why. But I have to be, honest in the
Mm.
history books. So that one was one
Yeah, yeah.
I watched a lot.
Nice, nice.
Um, I also remember like Nightmare Before Christmas was one that I was obsessed
Yeah.
with. So good. And then also Tu Wong Fu was one of my favorite
Oh,
movies as
yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
kid. It's
It's
so
good.
good. And so again, the word eclectic comes up again. I think that they were all very drastically different from each other, but um I think there's something about having that outsider kind of perspective and
Hmm.
finding things finding community, I think, is always
Yeah.
the biggest thing. But obsessed with Tim Burton. Anything Tim Burton, I was all over. So I stand by Batman Returns. Like Michael Keaton's the only Batman that I acknowledge. So that's
Boom.
just
Facts. Best Batman. Best Batman by far.
the only one that, yeah. And I loved when Birdman came out because I was like, that's perfect. Like that's the perfect like refresher for him. Like I feel like that
Yeah.
was so the casting was so good. But yeah,
No,
just
I really enjoyed, like, we'll get into the Batman for a second. I really enjoyed, like, Pattinson's Batman. I think that Batman film was my favorite since the 89 and, like, Returns films. Every Batman film, like, between it, I have just sort of been like, yeah,
yeah.
I don't care. Like, sure, it's fun. Like, I don't really care. And then it's like, because everything in my head is like, it's not Burton's Batman, which is perfect. And then
Yeah.
when Pattinson's Batman came out, I was like, this is most like watching the comic of Batman. So well done. Like, so yeah, Batman Returns, perfect film.
So good. So
So
good.
good, so good. No, I was we never had Nightmare on video, but it would be on TV at Christmas every year, and I always made sure I made sure I watched it. But between that and Edward Scissorhands, I got
Yes.
so
Yeah.
scared. I couldn't watch Edward Scissorhands for so long.
No.
Like, I even remember saying to my mum, like, his name's Edward as well, so he wouldn't get me. Like, I just thought he was going to get me. And it was like, we're both Edward, so, like, they wouldn't. And it was like, what the fuck am I
We
on
have
about?
a pact.
We have a pact, man. Like, and then it's like, actually, you know what, Johnny Depp? We don't have a pact. We don't have a pact. But, like, yeah, it's... those films as a kid, I remember just being very much, like... Nightmare was something that really... Like, I think it was the first stop-motion film that I watched that I was... I think I got it, you know? Like, I saw, obviously, you know, the Harryhausen stuff in Jason and the Argonauts, and I was like, oh, they're cool. But when I saw, like, that, I was like, ooh, what is this? This is interesting. I like this a lot.
Hmm. Did you
Have you shown
also
Go on.
Oh no, every October. See, and you mentioned something that was really interesting. It's a big debate in my house. Is this a Halloween movie or is it a Christmas movie? And I think it can be both.
It can be both.
I welcome it in both realms, but I definitely start watching it in October.
I would think
But it
the
is about to start
giveaway
Christmas.
is the word Christmas in the title.
But it's the Nightmare Before Christmas, and it's all yes, you
He
are
dresses up as
correct.
Santa.
He does. It is all about finding the Christmas spirit, right?
Yes.
Like that one, Lethal Weapon, I will take it. Like they
Yeah.
are Christmas movies. I just love any excuse to start it early. Yeah, no,
Fair.
we've watched that one. I've watched that one with him. Practical Magic's also a movie that I love, and
Nice.
like I'm so excited for the second one. I am
Yeah.
making him go with me. And that's something that I think that kind of that's something that we've discussed too in terms of like what does movie currency mean, right? Because
Mm.
in his head he thought that I loved every single movie that we saw. I was like, no, like there are things that I
Mm.
don't want to see, but I go because I enjoy just the process and just having a shared memory with you and having things. And so he was really upset to know that I did not like the third Venom as much as he did. So, you know, it's just
Oh no.
I know.
What a shame. You really strike me as the third Venom fan as well, you know? Like, 1 and 2, take it or leave. But
Actually
3...
didn't see one or two, so it's the only
Oh,
one.
you didn't miss anything, so don't worry about that.
I felt that. I felt that.
Yeah.
I was like, it's fine.
I
So,
came out of Venom 3 being like, that's the most 2005 film I've watched in 20 years. That's amazing. And that was my whole review.
it is. And so I'm just like, that's when I'm like watching my watch, but I'm also watching him just giggle with delight at things they don't
Yeah.
understand, right? And so for him, you know, he's very aware of that now. He's like, okay, but like we can go see it, but is this like Venom? Like if you don't want to see it, like I can just watch it when it's streaming. Like, no, you will not. We're gonna go have a cinema experience and we're gonna do it together. And in exchange, you're gonna see Practical Magic 2 with me. So
I
yeah.
said this to someone recently where it's like, when I go to an art gallery, I don't expect to like every single piece of painting or a piece of like artwork I see. There'll be one piece that really hits me, and there'll be other pieces that I think, oh, they're fun. And then there'll be other pieces where I'm like, dog shit. Utter dog shit. I don't know why this is here. And going to the movies is going to a gallery. Like,
Hmm.
I'm going and I'm paying my ticket for this could be a really lovely piece of something to watch. And then you watch it and you're like, oh, it wasn't for me.
Hmm. Yeah,
And
exactly.
that's as far as it ever has to go. When people
Yeah.
start ragging on it and like doing YouTube videos on why it sucks, I'm just like, oh, shut up.
It's
Just
not necessary. Not
just
necessary. And yes, I
mm,
think that's such a key. I think that's something that we've lost maybe in filmmaking. I think the point is everyone must be entertained all the time versus
yeah.
here's a new perspective that's not going to land with everyone, and that's okay, right? And with my son, I try to teach him whether it's the movies, whether it's like I'll find just random shit for us to do, and I always let him know you don't have to enjoy it, but you're having a new experience and you have
Yeah.
to just like have a new perspective. You've learned something about yourself that you like or don't like, whatever it is. The point is not optimal entertainment all the time. And I
Mm.
think that that's kind of been the trajectory lately of like we can only move in the franchise realm. We can only like working in development for two
Yeah.
years. It's like, but where's the IP attached? Like, but our original idea is not allowed anymore. Can we not do
Right?
that?
Like,
So
how many of those 90s thrillers? I mean, a lot of them were Grishams, but like, how many of those 90s thrillers were just like here is the same story, but here's a slight difference to it. We're going to put someone else doing the exact same thing, and you're like, okay, go on then. And then it's fractionally different. You're like, oh, I liked this version. Like, I don't mind this version, but I don't care about this. But it's like they weren't like IPs. It wasn't, and it was like,
yeah.
ah, great,
And they were
great.
also 90 minutes long, which I feel like is
Oh,
the that is I
give
miss
me a
that.
tight 90. A tight
Right?
90.
That is a
Just
lost art form. People don't know. Like that
people
is
don't know.
right?
The amount of
Like
90s
there
thrillers that I'm putting on, because it's like I got 90 minutes. I got maybe a little extra. I'm going to put on a little tight 90. I'm going to watch Extreme
right?
Measures with Gene Hackman and Hugh Grant. It's going to be amazing. Rising Sun, yes please.
Done.
It's like
Done. Let's do it.
give me
Yeah.
anything. Also, like there's certain people from that time period where it's just like give me like a Denzel, give me a Wesley, or give me oh, who else? Who else would be a good one from that period of time? Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Tom's bloody good,
Yeah.
and it's just sort of like give me something from that, a Gene Hackman where it's like, yeah, what are you gonna do? You can do the exact same thing, but show me in this scenario how you're gonna do the exact
Yeah.
same thing, and I love it. I think that's fair for Wesley Snipes. I don't think people don't give Wesley Snipes enough credit for the amount of risks he takes. Like to do
Mm-hmm.
like a black man in the '90s doing Tu Wong Fu, like that is fucking bold.
It is insane to me. Yes. And I mean, in like the best way, I loved it so much. I have so much respect because you're so right. Like the I think what that meant for him and his career at that moment in time, yeah,
Yeah,
is very different, very, very different. And yes, I just really appreciated from all of them, Patrick Swayze, John Lewis, like they just like had such it was such a
yeah,
beautiful cast. Like they and you're right, like these were like the super like macho men.
yeah.
And here they are showing up in drag, but like doing it with heart. Like there was, I felt like it wasn't like a characterization of, it felt
No,
very
it
much
wasn't tongue
like,
in cheek from them. It was very
yeah,
much like this is it. This is the story. This is what we're getting.
yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, so good. So good.
And I mean, I do like that Wesley also puts in, like, isn't it the clause in like, especially in the early, like in his '90s films, like his love interest, he would insist that it was a mixed race couple,
Mm,
and it
hmm
was like, thank you, like, because you're perpetuating this thing that only white guys can go out with white women, black guys go out with black women, Asian guys go out with Asian women. Like it's like, these people are living in LA.
Yeah.
It's not multicultural over there. Like, what the hell are you on about? Like, get out of here. Like,
Yes.
what the
Or
fuck?
was it was Denzel and Mississippi Masala that one like the whole
Oh, I
like
didn't
black
see
and
that one.
Indian? Oh, that one's a good one. But like,
Oh, I'll
similarly,
get on that.
it's based around a mixed race couple. And yeah, like that was it was very much the let's explore it. Let's explore topics. Let's explore things.
I had a heartbreaking realization like last year when I was writing. I've been watching a lot of Denzel films, um, and I had that moment of realization where it was like, oh, I'm never gonna write a film that has '90s Denzel Washington in.
Mm,
And it was like in my
mhm.
head, I was like, oh, that's upsetting. And it was like because he's so good, like he's
So
so fucking
good.
good,
So
and like
good.
I really wish they'd given him more Shakespearean stuff
Yeah.
because he is such a like he's got it in him to do such like classical acting,
Yeah.
but it was almost like he was too handsome that they were like, no, 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 you got to
Not
be doing something
believable.
else, my guy. And it's just like, come on, give him some real meat, like he can do it. But
Yes. Yeah.
oh well, a lot of Disney films you've mentioned.
Yeah.
But what was the first X-rated film you saw, and how old were
Oh
you?
man. So I was actually pretty young. I was really young. I mean, I guess it was more R rated, but I was 5. 5 or 6.
Sorry, I meant
And
R.
yeah, it's okay. I was
Yeah.
like, it's like, we'll save that one later.
NC-17.
So I remember because my parents, my dad was living in Texas at the time. My brother and I had gone out to spend like a month or something like in Texas with him, like super rural,
Mm.
really country, like not much to do at all. I don't know where he went. He just left and he was like, I'm gonna just watch a movie while I'm gone. And the movie that he put on was Leprechaun. So
Jesus
like
Christ.
I know.
All
And
right.
I don't, right? I don't remember fear. Like, and I think back to like watching that. I just remember like watching
Boom.
it. I don't remember
Right.
like necessarily
Right
like,
there for you.
oh, amazing. I love that. Love that. And then that same trip, I went with my cousins who are a little bit older than me, and we went to the theater to see What's Eating Gilbert Grape.
Oh,
And you have no idea
it
about
is here. I won't do it. I won't do it. Oh, there we go.
it.
It's right there.
Yes, yes. So good. And I feel
Name another
like
film. I'll do it again. No.
I was excited. uh gosh, yeah. So I feel like those were kind of, I mean, very drastically different films,
Mm.
but same like What's Eating Gilbert Grape, still one of my favorites. I think just the
Mm.
level of I think that's what I miss too, is that kind of that idea of here is a person, let's just sit in their life for a minute and
Yeah.
let's just kind of be there, right? And then, you know, pre later problems with Johnny Depp, but like Benny
Oh,
and
but young
June,
Johnny Depp. Young Johnny Depp had
right?
so much like
Yes.
there was so much interest in like what he was doing.
Yes.
Like I loved the directions he took. I love that he didn't mind looking shit as well, you
Yeah.
know, like
Yeah.
he was a very handsome man, but like he'll shave his head for Fear and Loathing and you're like, yeah, well done. Like
Right?
you're not
Done.
too worried about looking pristine all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And just like the quirkiness and like, you know, Benny and June is one of I haven't
Mm,
seen it in ages, but like I loved that one. I just loved that the idea of like we do not fit within the box of regular society and yet we still deserve screen time and a love
yeah.
story and like all the things, and I think that that's something that I really miss, but that was really informative for me, and I think that as I grew up and then, you know, really worked in genre, something that I really, you know, appreciate is when you are kind of in those kind of sci-fi zombie worlds, like it really is, that's all just backdrop, like that's just kind of the
Yeah.
extra stuff, and like being able to focus in on character and staying in that space of you know that sense of longing, that sense of wanting to find humanity and like who are we as people, I think is always the singular most exciting
That
thing.
that is something that I think is lost in quite a lot of like modern writing. Is I went to a talk with who's the guy that wrote like The Revenant?
Mark Smith or Alejandro Iñárritu?
No, was it Mark Smith? Did Mark
Okay.
Smith also do Twisters, the most recent like Twister film?
Yes.
Yeah.
2024, yeah.
Yes. So I went to it was at Austin in 2024, and I went to this talk with him, and someone sort of said like, you went from The Revenant to writing like Twisters, like why the big shift? And he was like, what shift? I wrote characters, and that's what I was writing. I was writing interesting characters. The backdrop is almost secondary. Like you shouldn't
Yeah.
worry about fun set pieces if you haven't got your characters right. And I was like, oh, thank you for saying that to a room of writers, because it's all well and good being able to do like big high concept, like what about this idea, and it's like, right, and what's going to prop it up, like, because
Yeah.
you can put an A-lister actor in and that might prop it up, but it's so surface it's just going to disappear after it's been watched. And it's like, let's focus more. I don't really agree with Nolan on a lot of things, but when he said, you know, indie filmmakers, was it Nolan who said it? No, it was Paul Thomas Anderson, and I do agree with Paul Thomas Anderson. He said indie filmmakers should stop worrying about how good the glass in their lenses is and should worry about the story. And it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. There's
Yeah.
too much focus on indie filmmakers getting the right camera, and it's like, yeah, you shoot on your fucking phone. It doesn't matter if the story's good; people will watch it.
Yeah. before Honora, there was Tangerine. I'm pretty sure that one was on
Yeah.
a phone,
Yeah, that
right?
was on the phone. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yes, I agree. I absolutely agree. Because I think what happens sometimes is there's this idea of like, oh, I want to write like a big epic space opera.
Mm,
But then at the end of it, it's like what you really want to write about is, intergenerational trauma between like you and your dad, right? And like that can happen in space or underwater or,
yeah.
whatever the thing is. And I think, yeah, like I think I wholeheartedly agree. Like once you find what that cornerstone is, the rest of it is that's the last thing you put on.
Mm. It's just, yeah, that's the jacket at the end, and how do we
Mhm.
want to just make sure that this is all together? Like that's that. But yeah, I'm going to bail out on that conversation completely to divert back to what we were saying. So, your dad's collection of films, was his collection of films, I want to say, was it very much a dad of that time period? Was it just like, or did he have any sort of like hidden gems in there?
No, no hidden gems. I think my dad was very much a Rolling Stone. I think he just kind of like
Hmm.
collected things as he went around. Like, my mom, as I mentioned, raised us. My dad, um, was gone for like large periods of my
Hmm.
life growing up. And then, so like, definitely remember, God's Must Be Crazy is probably the VHS that was on him. And then years later, when I was more in my teens, going over his where he was then and his I guess movie era life was, that's where I watched The Exorcist and Spawn and
Right.
right, like he was definitely more of like the whatever, I don't care, like just kind of like, more
Yeah.
on the horror side of things. No, you know what? No. He loved westerns. My dad loved westerns. I feel like whenever the TV was on, it was like Bonanza or what was the other one? There was like another one that was just always on. So he was a big
Uh,
Western guy.
Gunsmoke,
Maybe that
Rawhide,
sounds. I think
Maverick.
maybe it was Maverick. It was either Maverick or Gunsmoke. It was definitely
Okay.
like something just kind of a little campy, a little just like But I feel like maybe
Is he
not
dad like
Maverick
in his
then.
70s now? Like, was he an older guy?
No, no, my dad he's in his 60s now, mid 60s. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So
Like that seems quite odd for a guy of that generation to be into cowboy stuff for some reason. It
yeah,
feels like the cowboy thing. Like, unless you were a kid in the 50s, I feel like cowboys weren't a thing
a
anymore.
thing. Yes,
Yeah.
I don't know. And maybe that's like just the rural Texas in him. I'm not sure, but
Oh, maybe. Yeah, that
that
makes
was just like
sense.
always his thing. And so whenever like when 310 to Yuma came out, like I remember anytime I watched a Western, I felt very like I'm bonding with my dad, even if he's not
Mm,
here. Like that was just kind of the thing.
yes.
And then my mom on her side, she and her sisters all loved TCM. Like Turner Classic Movies is what like we didn't have cable for a while, but when we did, that was like the only thing that was on, that and true crime.
Right.
So I grew up with a lot of like the Double Indemnity and like, all of the noirs and the Bogarts, like all of it. And so
Yeah.
between the two of them, it's a very wide spectrum
Yeah.
of I know a little about a lot. Like it's a trying to skim the
Perfect.
surface of a lot of different genres.
I think that's the best way to be.
Yeah,
I'd
yeah. And
rather
like
have
growing
watched one of everything than
yes.
all of like one thing and I don't know anything else, you know?
Yes, agreed, agreed. And I think one of the more informative things, the Twilight Zone. Like I grew up watching the Twilight Zone. Ooh, like every 4th of July.
Love the Twilight Zone.
Yes, so good. And I would come visit my grandmother out in Pasadena over the summers. And, 4th of July, the Twilight Zone marathon on like was always on in the background. And I thought that was like a normal American thing that people did.
Mm.
And later I was like, oh no, just us. Okay. But to me, it was so poignant because I think the whole self-reflection of who are we as a society? How are we
Hmm.
treating other people? What is our, like the whole just kind of shift? It was so introspective.
Mm.
And I think that as a person of color in the States, even though there weren't many episodes that featured people of color, I still felt represented because there was always kind of this
Yeah.
narrative of we can do better, right? And I think that there was something that was in that was really, really fascinating, and I think that really influenced. again, even though I thought I was going to kind of go into comedy initially, I think my love of genre and sci-fi really stems from having seen all of those episodes a million
Mm.
times. And now my son like loves talking Tina whenever that episode comes on.
Oh,
It's
nice,
just
nice.
like,
No, there's some, I know Jordan Peele tried to redo Twilight Zone and it didn't quite hit in the same way, but like I'd love it if they brought back more of that sort of creep show, Tales from the Crypt, like just little
yes,
vignettes of
yeah,
like, just here's something, give this a go. Here's 20, 30
yeah.
minutes, just try that. And it's like, yeah, that'd be good. That'd be really good. But yeah, I think I was going to say something about Twilight Zone. What was I going to say? Gone. Gone. Got nothing for you.
It'll come back. It'll come
Maybe.
back.
Maybe. Oh, that's what it was. When you're saying about, although there weren't many episodes involving people of colour, it's the same thing with zombie films.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the reason people enjoy zombie films is because it's the fear of the other, and it's the fear of essentially from a distance, they're like you, but when you get closer, they do things differently. And yes, they attack and they're vicious, and that's what your fear is your fear is the other. But it's that
Mm-hmm.
feeling of they're kind of like you, they're just like not you. And I'm obviously not saying that people of color are zombies. Let's just get that
This is
out
a
there.
safe space, as one brownie to another. Understood.
I'm just saying. Um, but I think it is very interesting that when you can break down an episode of Twilight Zone or when you watch a zombie thing, and it's like, yes, it's just making you figure out, the audience who may never have realized this, that when you're put on the back foot, when you're put sort of at a disadvantage for something that you had no say in, you happened to be in this situation, you happened to be born in this situation with what is considered a normal nose instead of the pig nose deformity like in that one
Mm-hmm,
episode.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's like it has nothing to do with, like, there's no decision. How do you feel about that? Well, I mean, that's not fair. It's like, correct, it's not fair. You had no say. Like,
Yes,
so
yes.
do you think that system should still be in place? I mean, it's the same reason that about the fly the flag thing over here. I'm just like, yeah, you didn't ask to be born in the UK. You happen to be born in the UK. That's it. The people who want to be in this country are probably like, they want to be here. You are probably too thick to leave this country. But like, other than that, like, I just feel like it's this weird thing of people that are so patriotic to something that was like, you were just born here. That doesn't mean
Yeah.
anything. Like, you weren't chosen. Like,
Ugh,
pick another
yeah.
reason why you love it here and why you want to defend it. Also, I'm going to get into this. The
Please do.
same people that complain about, people coming over here and ruining it for everything. My mum said to me recently, she's like, why aren't they all in the army defending this country? Why aren't they like street sweepers? Why aren't they police? Why aren't they doing things that actively improve the community? Why are they not like, oh, communal gardens, I want to make my community look lovely? It's like, no, they just want to complain and sit in their houses. And it's like, why are they not
Yeah.
actively... If it was the people that were genuinely trying to improve the country and they were saying it, I think I'd come back with a bit more like, I still don't understand why, but I think I understand your argument. Like, you
Mm-hmm.
know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But because
Mm-hmm.
it's like, I personally think, I, I personally think Whitey ruins it for everyone. And like, whenever I think of that in this country, I'm always like, you guys are fucking ruining it over here. Like, chill the fuck out. Like, you're
Calm
the
down.
problem, guys.
Calm down.
So,
It's so bad. Yeah.
yeah.
No, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was done. I was done ranting
No.
about how much I hate Whitey.
I was gonna add on, like, I think that one of my favorite arguments over here is like, oh well, they're coming in, they're taking our jobs. Like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, how often are you seasonally picking strawberries? Like, how often are you like
Right?
like, oh, do you want to clean like the toilet of like that massive like building over there? Like, go for it. Like, I don't think anyone's
Yeah.
stopping, or it's not your dream job. But then at
You'll
the
get
same
paid the
time,
same if you do it. Like,
Right, right. And then, and then, but then I look back and, like the amount of Supermen who were played by like non-American actors, or like Spider-Man is now like a British dude. Like the amount when I was in Walking Dead, like Andrew Lincoln's coming over with like a dialect coach to get a Southern
Right?
accent. Like those are the jobs that you actually want. Like you want to be like a leading man in something, and that's where
That's
the
what you
immigrants are
want,
really coming in. It's
right?
like, can we like
Like, we put a stop to those high earning English actors whose tax is back over here.
send
You're
them
not getting
back?
any of that.
Yeah.
Send Andrew Garfield, Tom Holland, the lot of them. But yeah, like, I always think it's like, I wouldn't complain about the guys like fighting over the nickels and dimes that you refuse to fucking take. I'd worry about the multimillionaires who aren't paying it back. Like,
Thank
they're the guys
you.
I'd
Thank
worry about.
you.
But
Yes.
hey, the Murdoch won. He won the propaganda war. He won. Like, there's no point trying.
Mm,
One day they'll all be dead, and then there'll be some new dickheads ruining it for everyone.
there will be. There will be. Yes.
Yeah,
We
it's
try.
great.
We try.
It's great. Hey, like I said, just got to make it good for your local group. Try and make it so that
Yes.
your guys are good. That's it. Like,
Yeah, that's what I tell my kid. It's like we can't, there's not a lot that we can control. Poor thing. So my kid was like really into this last election. He was very, very team Kamala. And the election results came back on his birthday and he was really upset. He's like, but it's my birthday. I'm like, I know, kid, I'm sorry. So,
yeah,
um, but oh, but I told him, I was like, look, there's a lot of things that we can't control, but things that we can, like just be kind to each other. Like as much as you can do on a day-to-day basis, as much as you can like, like volunteer in the community, as much as you can just don't be a dickhead. Like that's the only thing
yeah.
that we can control.
That's
Just
all
try
it
to
is.
find, yes, like
Just
have
don't
your
be a
gratitude
dickhead. Like,
journal.
yeah.
That's right. And that goes a long way. That goes a lot farther than we think it does. But
I
yeah.
think as well, it's that kill 'em with kindness. It's like if they're over there shouting and raving and being furious, and you just go, I completely get it, man. It's really frustrating to be like overlooked.
Yeah.
And
Like,
then
oh,
they're
wait,
like,
what?
nah. It's like, no, no, I get it. It's really horrible for a system to have let you down. Like, I don't know what to say, and they just get more. It's because of them. It's like, I mean, it's not because of them, but like if that's what you feel, that's never a nice thing. They're just like, ah!
I love the gentle parenting. It's great. It's
Well,
also honestly
they are
why,
having a temper tantrum, so you gotta.
yes, yes. And I think it's also why I was so tied to like X-Men growing up. Like when I was growing up, the idea of, and this goes back, I think, to seeing yourself in media, right? And
Mm,
how representation is so important. Because for me, it wasn't just, oh, like here's a comic book brought to life. I was presented X-Men as this is the civil rights movement. Like you have Professor X is MLK and Magneto is Malcolm X, and you have these two different opposing views on like how to. And then anytime anyone was like, "You're a mutant lover," like my brain would replace it with a different word, and like it was just one of those things where to me, that was such a reflection of society. And I think that
mm,
those are the things that I miss so much from, like, yes, okay, cool. We have all these franchises. And I know that there is a kernel of, reflection that comes here and there, like out of them. But largely by and whole, like, those are the movies that I loved, were just the ones that were very much like, who are we as people? Let's take a
yeah.
look at like Toy Story 5. Okay, so not my favorite of the Toy Stories. However, it did make me very sad because I think it did exactly that. Like it was very much a
Mm,
mirror of how are like the lack of play that kids have today, right? It was very much here's Bonnie and she's got her toys, but there's nobody outside because they're all
yeah.
on tablets. And like that was just so. Ooh, but that's art. Like that's the art of it, is it's, finding, making us look at ourselves and have
Yeah.
those conversations of like,
Yeah.
man.
Isn't it weird that we do this, right? Oh yeah, it is weird. Maybe we change it. Yeah. Like just maybe. Though that whole thing with like the X-Men and the civil rights, and then Avatar, like no one, no one really cared, until they're rooting for the blue guys in Avatar, and it's like you realize who the blue guys are in Avatar, right? Like
Yes.
you're rooting for them, but you realize a couple hundred years ago you were Paul,
Mm,
like not Paul, you were Giovanni Ribisi, like that's who you were a couple hundred years ago. People like, come on, and
yes.
it is that sort of, I don't know. People. I think people don't want to. People always say they don't want to. Like, oh, I don't want to get. It's too much. I don't want to get involved with all that. And you're just like, yeah, but all the things you love, like, that's. I don't think you've understood the message that a lot of these things are saying. Like, I don't know. People
Who
are
was it
scumbags.
recently? Oh gosh, was it John Cleese? It was one of the Monty Python guys who made a mention of like London not looking like London anymore, and like
It'll be
because of
probably be Cleese
yeah,
because he's a piece of shit.
yeah. And so I remember hearing that, and I was like, no, it looks like all of the people who made London, London, right? Like all of the
Right?
resources that were mined from all of these other people who then didn't get to benefit from are now here enjoying. It's like, no, these were always the people that were part of this culture. Just they weren't allowed to exist in this space. Like
Yeah.
they're, oh man.
Yeah. It's every time an old comedian opens their mouth, it's always that like 50-50 where you're like, are you going to be cool? You going to be cool? Ah, you're an old cunt. Fuck off. I don't want it. I don't want it. Go away. You know? And then you're always just like, why can't you just be one of the cool ones, man? Like Michael Palin seems just like a really nice guy. And it's like, why do we have to hear about Cleese? Palin's the good one. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, and not everything needs to be shared on a public platform. Like, have your opinions, have your conversations, but we don't need to like. Not everything needs to be, I say, on a public platform.
No, yeah, yeah, but fuck them. We got the right opinion. But like, I agree with you. It is that I don't think there's anything wrong with sharing an opinion, but I think much like a gift, once I've shared my opinion, like if I give a gift and the person doesn't like it and they want to sell it tomorrow, that's their business.
Mhm.
That like I don't the act of giving the gift is the gift. I don't need anything else from it afterwards. If you don't like it, I don't care. Like that's your business. If I got it wrong, let me know and I'll try again next time. And I think that's the same with an opinion. Like if I air an opinion, I think people should be able to just sort of be like, oh, I disagreed with that. And then that's the end. Like there's this thing of like you don't have to fight tooth and nail because we completely disagree on an opinion. On a
Mhm.
fact, we can argue facts, but on opinions, like I I don't know why people like make their opinion their entire life. You just sort of have to be like,
Yeah.
I don't know what it's benefiting here. Like I don't know. Like I don't want to mention the names, but it's like the Kirks and like the Charlie Kirks and all those kind of people where you just sort of like
Yeah.
you these are all opinions based on like scriptures that were written that are open to interpretation and they're not fact. And but you seem to be really really making it your whole thing, and it's like
Your whole
but there's
identity.
but there's
Yeah.
nuance. There's nuance in everything. Like I'm sure I have an unconscious bias, which if it was called out loud would make me go, "Oh, God, yeah, you're right, actually." But like, it, if someone was to call it out, that's not a bad thing. But also, it's like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, okay, I guess that was just a thing I thought. I'll think about. Yeah, I'll either keep thinking it and just sort of be like, okay, or I'll go, oh, you're right. Maybe I should have a rethink about that and try again.
And I think you've hit on something so beautiful in that, and really poignant in that. I think a lot of times when people exchange in a dialogue, it's now become this really polarizing thing of I'm trying to convert you to my way of thought, and or like it's like someone
Yeah,
has to win
someone has to win.
versus yeah, versus you come in and then the winning is you both leave thinking about something, right? Like it doesn't have to be let me give you a thesis and all the things and it's just like you said, here's my thought on it. These are like I mean hopefully
Hmm.
like you've got some primary sources
Yeah.
it comes from like right
No, 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 no,
but
no. I got
ultimately
some Facebook articles, and that's what I got. So.
Twitter said so but I think that I'm sorry X but I think that yeah, I think people have lost this ability to have dialogues with each other
Mm,
and not feel like, oh, but if we disagree, then I'm going to be uncomfortable because they're not, or whatever it is. It's like you just have to, I think being open to at least hearing of and having a different perspective of a situation, there's nothing wrong with that. And no one says that
no.
you have to agree with it. No one says that you have to completely uproot your life and change how you're living. It's just more allowing space for varying viewpoints to exist, right?
Mm,
And I think that's hard. That's really hard right now to do.
that is really hard right now. And like I said, there's, a couple of people that I've sort of kicked out of my friends so like circle recently because every conversation was geared towards I think this is stupid and I'm going to have to tell you every reason why I think that. And then it's like I have a different opinion and you seem to just keep having to keep peppering this on me where it's like well I don't I talk about something else. Like I know your views. Like but why do I never hear about the things you love? I only ever hear about the things you hate. Like
Mm-hmm.
what was that about? Like I don't know. It's so bonkers that people don't just. I wish that all the people that had all that energy to hate could just have the thing that they love. Like, oh, I love this. Oh yeah,
Yes.
go on. How much do you love it? Oh mate, I fucking love this. And it's like, oh yeah, tell me more. But instead it's just like, I hate this, and here's every fucking reason. And you're like, all right, well that's a shit conversation. I don't
It
care.
is, yes, yeah. And it's something, it's really interesting because all of this I feel like kind of goes back to parenting a little bit and like with my kid, he's at that age where it's like really cool to kind of be contrary. And something that I'm trying to work with him on is it's completely fine to not like something, right? And
Mm,
it's completely fine to express that opinion. But instead of saying like, oh, that team is trash, right? Be like, hey, their defense wasn't great this year, or I don't like how, right? Like there's a difference between expressing an opinion that is informed versus
yes.
putting something down just like out of emotion, right? And so really trying to gear him kind of more towards the be articulate, please. It doesn't mean that
Yeah.
you have to like all the things, but
No.
understand why, right? And kind of, sit with that feeling a bit and be like, all right, didn't like this, but what about it didn't I like, right? And like what can I learn from that as I move forward?
But do you think that's the introspection that like is lost? I feel like it's the same with people that feel uncomfortable in emotional films is because they had to if they had to think for 1 second why that's made them emotional, that would ruin their life because they've effectively ignored it their entire time. Whereas
Yeah.
you opened up about being going like speaking to your therapist. I very open about going to speak to my therapist, and I'll tell everyone that like I see a
It's
therapist.
great. Yeah.
It's like this is I don't know why you don't all do it. You're wasting all that money on going to the pub every week. Why don't you just go to a
Yes.
therapist once a week? But
Yes.
it's just that feeling of just like be a bit more open with why. Learn why you don't like something. Learn why you love
Yeah.
something, and then you'll uncover something else. And if maybe you've changed your opinion, that's not a bad thing. Like
Yeah.
I thought I hate one thing, and then I go and talk it through, and it turns out it's actually because I don't like the person that introduced me to that thing. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I'll go reevaluate that thing then. It's fine. Like
Yeah. Yeah.
people are. I don't like them. Um, what was the first film you watched that you made you feel grown up?
Oh, this one. So I went through a few thoughts on this. But I think ultimately, like the one that really stands out to me was Titanic. And I watched this one in theaters. I was in fourth grade. I went with my best friend and her mom. And
Mm,
I remember leaving and everyone was just sad. It was like this
yeah.
feeling of like, oh man, like the grown like that idea of like we all collectively just went through a similar
Yes.
trauma. And I feel like it was like a leveling ground of the kids and the grown-ups were all just like sad. It was
This is
uh
miserable.
right? It was just like a great leveler, right? And so I think yeah, it was that really cool feeling of like, yeah, like I just felt what the grown-ups felt, and we all just experienced this thing together. Like we're like, we're went through the trenches together. We're army buddies
Mm,
now, but yeah, and it was just such a there's just so many things that I think, that were the idea of classism and this
yeah,
romance that was going on. I mean, that car scene, no one covered my eyes. It was great. And like, I think that there was something, and then yeah, all, that's the whole back half, all the tragedy and the
yeah.
death and all the things, like there were so many layers to it. And it felt like the first kind of, oh, you can tell so many stories within one story. Um, and how they all kind of come together in a very like impactful way. So
It's also very unlike James Cameron, that film. Like,
yeah,
that's
it's like
not
Terminator. No, no,
right. Like, that's
but
not what he does. And
uh,
I think it's very interesting whenever a filmmaker sort of pivots and they're like, I can do something else if you want. And it's like, all right, like, fair enough. That
yeah,
you've managed to do quite a good job of getting some real, like, the wealth of, like, the depth and wealth of all the characters is really interesting, and showing, I mean, obviously it's James Cameron, so the female characters like Kathy Bates in it is fucking excellent, but like
she's so great.
the strength of like his like female characters, like I know a lot of people have a lot of issue with James Cameron. I am actually a big James Cameron fan, but purely from like the amount of space he gives strong women, and I always think like, yes, well done, well done, like keep doing that, mate, and hopefully other people will look. But that film, I think, does such a good job of it that it gives Rose this whole autonomy of just like she's she's deciding on what we know to be a catastrophic event. She has decided to change her life. Like
Hmm.
when she arrives in New York, it's going to be all different. It's going to be like that's it. I'm going to get rid of Billy Zane, which is a fool. You're going to get rid of 1996 Billy Zane. Get out of here. Like, and then it's this whole like we all know it's doomed, and she's still like going through it all, and you're just like, oh, it's such well played, and it's, I don't know, it's good. It is a very good one. It's something that I only rewatched like as an adult recently.
Mm-hmm. It's gonna happen soon. I haven't seen it in years, but my son's been he's been asking for that one. So I was like, all right, I think it's time. I think you're of age now. Let's do it. But he's so funny because like he plays everything real cool, and like
Mm.
anything from, as he likes to call it, the what does he call it? The 1900s. He's like, Mom, like when you
In
grew
the
up in the
lake, none
1900s.
of that.
Like,
In the
stop
lake, mate.
it,
All right,
stop it. Words matter.
it's the 20th
Um,
century. All right.
come on now, come on now. And so, um, it's funny because like we watch Terminator, and like the when he, or was it the second one, like when he's like pulling out his eye, like whatever thing
That's
was,
one. Yeah.
like it's one, yeah. And it like, to me, I'm still like, oh, but for
Mm.
him he's like, oh, these special effects are buns. I'm like, okay, but calm down, it's fine, it's great.
So
um
they're what? They're buns.
Buns, yes, that is the new, I've learned a lot of alpha speak.
I don't know if I want to, but I do like the idea of calling something buns if it's no good.
Yeah, oh, it's buns. And so, but he still really enjoys it. Like he'll
Hmm.
say that, but then also be like, "But wait, are they gonna die?" And like it's like really invested. So I feel like going into Titanic, like he knows, but also like he's like
Hmm.
wants to watch it, but I'm also, I feel like this might be one where he gets really kind of choked up a little bit. So, um, but he'll always like whenever we go see a movie, we watch like Wicked. Was it the first one? I think it was the first one. He's like, Mom, are you gonna cry? Are you crying yet? Are you crying now? Are you crying now? Like, it's just always like,
Hey, what is that? Where you're getting your enjoyment, kid? Get out of here.
right? Honestly, calm it down. And I was fine until the very end, thanks. Defying gravity did make me choke up a little bit. But it
But you're
was
just like, I can't let him see it because you're not
right.
giving him
It's
the
like it's fine.
satisfaction.
I rubbed popcorn in my eyes. It's fine. Um what did we see recently? We watched something recently. And I was like, in the first 5 minutes, just like welling up. Just like, Mel, calm down. Like, you haven't lived yet. Okay. Emotions are hard.
You don't get it.
Um, you don't get it. Yes, but it's, I see. I think that's gonna be one that he'll be watching soon. And oh my, it's funny. I think that there's a sense of the way that they watch films is so different for us because
Mm,
it's like I would watch a movie and I don't know what's happening, right? Until it happens. And for him, he's like, wait, are they gonna be a good guy or bad? Like he wants to know up front, like what am I getting
right.
into? I need to know like what is happening here before he
Yeah.
feels comfortable. Like just watch it. Just watch the movie. Like let it happen. Just let it
Yeah, just let
happen.
it wash, let it go, let it take it in. Though, a thing that, like, did you watch Widow's Bay?
No, I don't think I've seen that one yet.
It's on Apple, it's TV, but
Yeah, yeah.
it was very good. It's like the first series is all done, so you can do it all in one if you want to. But like that thing of like reading a show and being like, oh, I know how this is gonna play, or are they gonna be a good guy or a bad guy? How's that gonna work out? Like that becomes quite a problem when, as you all know, being a writer, you know a lot of sort of film tropes and how they're going to get written, and I think kids are a bit more on that than we were. I
Hmm.
think when we were watching films and TV as kids, it was the twist would genuinely be a twist, whereas now everyone's like, so I'm expecting a twist. It's going to be that guy because that's going to be the twist, and when it happens, they're like, yeah, I knew it, and you're like, oh
Yeah.
no, you're going to miss out, man. And Widow's Bay did a thing that I wasn't expecting, and then
Okay.
it was quite nice. But yeah, like I think kids, there's almost too much media for them to not be more media literate than we were,
Yeah.
even though we grew up in peak cinema time.
Oh, so good. So good. So good. Yeah. And they don't watch it the same either.
Mm.
Um, because there's no waiting a week for a thing to come out. There's no like it's just it's all so instant and so um
Imagine if you could read up about everything the film was from the drive home from Blockbuster. It'd be
right?
pointless. You'd just sort of be
It'd
like,
be
oh, I've
so pointless.
just Wikipedia'd it. I know everything. Can't wait to watch this. Whereas, like, you held it and you were just like, I can't let go of this until it goes into the player because this is it.
This
Like
is
this is
happening. And
all
you were
I can
locked
get.
in.
I can read the back. That's all I know.
Yeah. Yeah. And there's a thumbnail that like might give me a little bit more like, oh, we'll see. I'm so
This scene
excited.
looks fun. Can't wait for that scene. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas
But
now,
he still likes watching movie trailers and like that. And like that's kind of whenever we go see a movie, it's hard because I was this kid where I wanted to be there for all of the previews. And now that's an extra half hour on top of an already like 2.5 hour
yes,
movie. It's so long. But he'll do like a thumbs up, thumbs down. Like we kind of like decide as it's happening. I'll
yeah.
add it to my calendar. Like, all right, this comes out this weekend. Let's go. So there's still, I
I
think, a level of
I love
anticipation,
that
but
though. Like whenever you're at the movies with like someone who is into movies as well, and it's your son for you, it's just lovely. That thing of like after a trailer, just sort of half looking and sort of being like, yeah, yeah, or like, yeah, that could be good. Yeah, we all turn into Robert De Niro for a second, like, yeah, not bad, not bad, and like. You try and pull out Letterboxd and be like, add that, or the film's starting, turn it off.
Yep,
But
yep.
like, I really my mum with trailers. Like, if I go see a film, she might ask how the film was, but she'll be like, "What trailers did she get?"
Ah, I love that.
She
Love
loves a
that so
trailer,
much.
loves a
Yeah.
trailer. But yeah, trailers are great.
Sometimes they're better than the movie. Like it's just
Like I've said this hundreds of times, and I'm not going to get into it. The trailer for The Dark Knight, I think, is one of the best trailers ever. I think The Dark Knight is a shit film, but that trailer, even when I watch the trailer now, I'm like, fuck that's going to be a good film. And then I have to remind myself, you hate that film, and I'm like, oh yeah,
we've
I
hit
hate
this
that film,
already.
but damn, that's a good
We've been
trailer.
it got us already. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, we've been stung hundreds of times, Ted. Stop falling for it again. This Heath Ledger's going places. No,
Oh,
I was in Australia, like the day the news broke.
oh yeah.
And like it was really weird because I rang my friend and I was like, I've just landed in Australia. Like, what have I missed? Because I've been in the air for 24 hours. And he was like, Heath Ledger's dead. And I was like, lol, I'm in Australia, mate. I'd know that. And it didn't get into the news until 24 hours later. And I was like, Jesus
Oh
Christ,
my
guys, that
goodness.
is a long time.
That is such a long time. And oh, that was hard. That was a tough one. And
Mm.
like it was well it was. And I think it's like one of those things where it's always weird, I think, when like we attach ourselves to people. But like you kind of like I think it's like the loss of talents, the loss of all the things like to come, right? And one of the
Yeah,
movies that my
yeah.
yeah, and there's such range there, and like one of the things that my son and I, one of his favorite movies that he actually watched on the plane while we were flying to Atlanta is 10 Things I Hate About You. Like
Oh,
he
lovely. Yeah.
loves that movie, and I love that he loves that movie. And it's just one of those things where one of his questions now for me, like because we are watching movies from the 1900s, like he'll ask me, it's like, is that person still alive? It's like, stop
No, they died
insulting me, but
70
also
years ago.
of cholera. Like,
Nice.
oh. But yeah, it's always an interesting thing of, like he gets interested in like, oh, I'm going to see more from this person, and then there's like a
Mm.
stop date, and then but
That's to me is filmmakers. Like when I discover a new filmmaker, and I say new to me, and
yeah, yeah.
I'll absolutely eat up everything I can find, and then I find out that they've passed, and I'm just like, fuck. Like
What do I do now?
I
Yeah.
wish I could have told them. It's like, what are we gonna chase down Albert Pune and tell him like, I love your movies, mate? Like, no, I wasn't gonna. So,
That was the
but
thing he was waiting for.
don't tell me that. No, it's the thing of losing actors like and having like emotional weight. Robin Williams got
Oh
me
yeah.
too hard. I couldn't watch a
Yeah.
Robin Williams film for about 6 years afterwards because it would just make me too sad. And then
Hmm.
Sam Neill, man, when we lost Sam
Yeah.
Neill recently, that one was I did not like that. I was not okay with that.
Yeah.
Like so, yeah, and we're getting to that point where
All of our
the
favorites.
actors, all of our favorites that were in their 40s when we were kids, are now in that window where it's like, oh, if I think if you were to lose Jeff Bridges, he wouldn't be a young man, and you'd be like, I guess, but nah, Lloyd lasted into his 90s. Jeff should be able to outlive him. Come on, like it's so weird that we form those attachments. Like Paul Walker was one in our family,
Yeah.
like because we love the first two Fast and Furious films in our family. Those first two ones, sick. And when Paul Walker died, my mum messaged me and she's like, "Do you hear about Paul Walker?" And I was like, "Nah, man, what's going on?" And it's like, "He's gone." And I was like, "No, no, thank you." Like, what are you on about? Yeah, it's weird. Who's the one for you? Who do you reckon you're going to be devastated when you find out?
Oh man. I think honestly, Bowie was hard. I think both from like a
Mm,
musician standpoint, but also from I mean, like I loved Labyrinth growing up. Like that was one of my favorite movies, and just I think kind of the oddities again. It's like
yeah,
those like the people in the fringes, right? And I don't know who like him and Prince. I think were like the same kind of cloth for that for me. And so I
yeah.
feel like I've taken my hits. Like I don't know like who now fills that place for me.
No, I know what you
Um,
mean. We were shooting a film, me and some friends. We were doing a short, and like the news kind of broke about Bowie, and we were all just like, oh, that's okay. And we were like, that's not fun. And then like we were shooting at my parents' house. My parents were in India at the time, but we were shooting at my parents' house. And Dave, our cinematographer, was like doing us all some steaks and things, and we were just listening to Bowie, and like he was stood over the steaks just crying, like not turn. He didn't turn around. He just was just crying to himself, and I was just sat at the table, just slowly crying as well. And I think James was in the other room just crying as well, and we were all just like, "Oh man, this is fucking." And then like as soon as like the steaks were on the table, we were like, "Yeah, all right, that was that's good." But like we'd all just quietly wept on us by ourselves. But yeah,
yes,
Bowie was good as well.
yes.
Prince wasn't a fun
Oh,
one either. Yeah.
No, no.
No. Well, that's sad. I'm going to change the subject. All right. What film holds a special place in your heart?
Oh, well, I mean, we've discussed
We've
The
mentioned
Mummy,
a
I feel
few. Yeah.
like, yeah, at a pretty extensive. Um, okay, this one's really silly, but I think it just reminds me of my brother. And he and I used to watch Zoolander all the time. And I just feel like, again, coming back to like filmmaking and the shared storytelling and like the communal part of it, like, whenever I think, it doesn't even have to be on. I just have to think
Hmm.
about it, and it just makes me giggle.
Yeah.
And it brings back this sense of just nostalgia of having that time with him, and just all of like the inside jokes that we'd have about just really stupid things. And so I think that that one, it's again just ridiculous, but just makes me smile. So
Yeah.
that one definitely.
I
Um,
think you should listen to your man Billy Zane there. I say that a lot at home. Like, I love that.
it's so good. It's just
Yeah.
like, and I think that's what I like. Everyone was so serious in it, and I think that's what just did it so well, right? It's just like everyone showed up. Like everyone
Mm.
knew exactly what they needed to do in that film, and they just showed up and were so committed to just this really outlandish world. Um, so fun. Really, really fun.
Yeah, that's a good choice. That is a really good choice. Like that, I when he goes back to his dad, and it's like Voight and Vince Vaughn as coal miners. It's like, oh,
Oh
perfect.
my gosh, yes, and
Of
how hurt
course.
he is
Yeah.
that they don't get the mermaid. Like there's like the whole like you're just like so injured that they don't understand his art. And like he's trying to show up in the best way that he can.
Yeah.
It's a really deep
Ah.
film. Like we're
Like,
exploring.
jokes aside, it is quite a deep film. I think it is one of those. It's that last generation of films where they still took filmmaking like seriously as well as had fun. It's just
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
it's good. It is good,
Oh,
man. That's a good one. I didn't watch the sequel. Did you watch the sequel?
I did not
Yeah.
watch the sequel. And not that I was like, I know I didn't get a lot of love, and I don't think I avoided it for that reason. I don't think I needed it. You know what I mean? Like I
No.
think that it served a purpose for a very particular time in my life, and where I was when the second one came out, it just didn't
Yeah.
need it.
I I I think that's an important thing because I don't subscribe to that sort of like fandom element of films. Like I my one of my favorite films is Jaws. I've never seen two, three, or four. Like I don't need
Same,
to.
yeah.
I
Yeah,
just don't need to. Like one is
yeah.
perfect. That'll do. Like Jurassic Park, I've seen all of them.
Yes.
I don't know why I keep seeing them. Like I love one and two, and three is fun. Like but I'll still go see. You put dinosaurs on screen, I'm going to try and watch it. But there's a lot of films where you know they'll make a reboot or a legacy sequel, and I'm just like, nah, I'm alright.
Yeah, yeah.
I, I
Don't need
I got those guys over there. They're over there. They whenever I need them, I'll go back to them. But
it.
yeah, someone did say to me like, what would you do if they offered like you could have your first feature film, big Hollywood motion picture, but it's to remake Jaws. And I was just like, no. Like
That's a trap. Can't do
that's how
that.
you get fucked over in the industry, mate. That's not what you do. And it's not
Yeah.
even like the Meg is Jaws, right? Uh Fast and Furious is Point Break. It's the same film, but it's like, yeah, but you've changed it just enough that I don't care.
Hmm.
Like, but if you would say like, no, no, this is Jaws again, I'd be like, get out of here. I'm not doing that. I'm not risking it all for that.
No.
Um. So, what's your controversial opinion on a famous film?
I and this one gets me in a lot of trouble. I get a lot of looks for this one, but I stand by it. I am not a fan of Mulholland Drive. I do not care for this film. And like, I can't do it. Um
can I say,
I
since his
remember,
passing, I have come to the conclusion that I liked him as a filmmaker and an artist. I do not care for his body of work.
yes,
Like, I
yeah,
like Wild at
and
Heart. I like Blue Velvet. Straight Story's good.
yeah,
But I don't care. You know what I mean? It's, yeah, yeah.
yeah, and I get so much flack for this, but I don't know, I'm very much of the if I've invested like this much time in a story, I need some sort of a don't just feed me something completely different. I can't. I
Mm.
was so offended the first time I saw it. I'm like, wait a minute, we're not okay, okay. But everyone that I know, or most people that I work with, like just
Oh,
revere, love all. I'm like, how much of this is pretense though? Like, how much of this is
that's what
just
I
like,
think. I think we've
yeah,
all been conditioned to say, like, oh, Mulholland Drive's excellent. And it's like, well, the first half is interesting.
yeah.
Hell, the second half's interesting had it not been preceded by the first half.
Yes, like the two of them together don't make any sense.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I watched it. I bought like the 4K of it because I was like, no, I'm gonna give this the best chance it has, right? And Kirsty, I think Kirsty either hadn't seen it or she hadn't seen it for years, and we put it on, and I was like, nah, I don't really care about that. I think I fell asleep in it, and I said like, I don't think that's as good as everyone says, and I definitely don't think it's as good as I remember. And Kirsty was like, well, you slept through half of it, so you don't even know what it's about. And I was like, I know exactly what the film's about. Like, and then I explained the whole story and like the non-linear and the dream world and all that kind of stuff. And then when I said that, she was like, oh, and I was like, yeah, it's not a good film. Like when you understand it, it's not a good film. It doesn't make sense. But I think by not understanding it, it's better. But
right. It's
then,
elite. It's like,
right? Do you like other Lynches? Like, are you a do you have a Lynch where you're like, I like that one, I get that one, and not get it, but you know what I mean? Like, I get it as in it melds with me, or is it just
maybe
as a
not.
filmmaker?
Like,
You know?
I feel like, but I also don't think I've been super well versed either. Like, I think that that was very much like my first kind of I think for me, like I like a linear story and I like things that kind
Right?
of, and that's not really his bag. So
No,
I think that like
no.
for the most part, I haven't necessarily gravitated in wanting to explore more. I mean, I have, but like I didn't like Twin Peaks was never really my thing. Uh, even though again, I work with
There's
people who
more
loved it.
bad episodes of Twin Peaks than there are good. Like,
Well, okay, that's helpful.
you
That
know what
is
I mean?
helpful. But like,
The first series is good. I'll give
yeah.
them that. Second series, you can skip 90% of it. Like, it doesn't matter. And then I didn't watch the
Yeah.
third series for the similar reason. I was like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't need a third. I didn't need a second, to be honest. Like, that's that, you know.
Yeah. Um,
You might like the Straight Story because that's not a Lynch film. Like,
okay.
it's just a guy riding his like. It's a bit like Nebraska, the Bruce Dern film, where
Hmm.
it's just like a guy who's got to get from A to B to talk to someone.
Oh, I love that. Yeah.
Yeah,
And then things get in the way. There's
yeah,
to tangent. There's like this movie, Mads Mikkelsen's in it, and it's in. I feel like whenever he's in, like in an American movie, like he's always the bad guy, but whenever he's doing something at home, like he's like this really charming,
yes,
wonderful person.
right. Apart from the
It's
Hunt.
called. Yeah. Yeah. This one was not that. This one,
Okay.
it was Adam's apple. But to your point, it's a very,
Oh.
very linear thing of like the objective is you have this guy who's in like this halfway kind of rehab house, and the one thing that he needs to do in order to like get approved to leave is make an apple pie, and it seems like the easiest thing in the world, but it turns into just like this really like journey of
Yeah.
right. And so yeah, I think having a simple story and telling it well is where I am. I mean, um I think one Elephant Man, that one was him, right? That was Lynch as
Yeah.
well. Like that was, yeah, and that one I remember watching in school and liking that. But that was more, again, that was like very much a very straightforward, you can't really like it's already, you know considered
Weird
an oddity
enough.
like on its
Yeah.
own. Yeah, it doesn't need anything else. But it is, there's a very humanitarian, like, let's see
Hmm.
the human in this person who is a human, but is, othered. And that one I enjoy. But in terms of the things that like actually define his career and just in general, like I love everyone who does all like the abstract things. It's not my thing. Like I need a story. I need like a proper like
No, I know what you mean, and like I've been to like so like he did a soundscapes exhibit because he wrote all that music, like that soundscape music stuff, and
mm,
I love it. Like I love his soundscapes; they're fucking wonderful. And I went to galleries to see that, and I've listened to some of his music, and that's quite interesting. And like Kirsten and I went to a documentary about his artwork and something, and halfway through there was a fire alarm, and we all got evacuated out of the cinema. And Kirsty and I, like, we started our relationship just through talking about the Eraserhead soundtrack. Like, we were
mm-hmm.
neighbors and we were walking down the street and we just happened to start chatting. So, we've both been those people where it's like, I like Lynch, that's what I like. And then halfway through this thing, when the fire alarm went off, we both just sort of said, like, should we go? Can we just go? Like, I'm done. I don't think I need to see anymore. And then after
Yeah.
that, I think we were both just like, I think I don't care anymore. Like,
You've
I don't know.
graduated. You've reached like a
Kind of. Like, he
yeah.
strikes me as one of those. It's really cool to like him in your 20s.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's not a shot. It's really cool to like Hunter S. Thompson in your 20s. And then you realize, now I'm all right. Like, I like other shit. So, yeah, I think he's one of those people. Yeah, I don't know. It is a shame, though, because I don't think you're ever going to get a filmmaker like him again. And sometimes I think
No.
that's good and
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah. Like I think there is something to being able to be experimental and being able to play with art. And that's the artistry side of it. I think when it's packaged and sold as something different, I think that's kind of like where it is, right? Like let it be, this is an experimental film, this is like this, that, and the other, and like let it live in that space.
Mm,
Uh and there's room for that. I encourage that. I don't necessarily want to spend two
yeah,
hours on it myself, right? And
100%.
so all the things can exist. We give space. But
So, what have you been watching recently?
oh no, it's gonna get we're gonna bring it back to race again. So so many things. Again, my kid's like obsessed with 80s, 90s. Like so we're doing a lot
Hmm.
of, over the 4th of July weekend, we watched Deep Blue Sea. Like it's just kind of like really silly, just
Nice.
kind of like right getting
Love Deep Blue
into
Sea. Yeah.
right, it's so good.
He's
Um
pissing into the wind. How smart can he be? It's a good
it's
line.
so
It's a good line.
Uh, and then I did not remember LL Cool J making it to the end. And so that was the other thing. My son's like, is he gonna make it? Is he gonna? And I was like, no, I don't think he does, bud. And then I
Yeah.
was wrong. But
Yeah.
um, but my kid has picked up that there are certain things like I will lean into more. Like if because he has a certain amount of time that he's like allowed to watch TV, right? But
Hmm.
he knows that if he's like, "Hey mom, do you want to watch Living Single?" Like I'll do like one episode with him or like
Hmm.
something. He understands that there's there's I have a cheat code.
Yeah.
So like one of the movies we watched recently was They Will Kill You or They Will Kill Us. It was a Zazie Beetz movie
Yes.
that's out. Yeah,
Was it good?
I enjoyed it. Like it's silly. Like it's not
Yeah.
like, award winning, but I also sometimes just really love like a lot of action, a lot of whatever. And
Mm.
the gore was very campy where it's like not
Nice.
like, it's like it's a lot of splatters, a lot of things, so
Yeah.
it's not like really intense. And then whenever like he watches something R, like it's always at home, so we can just kind of like fast forward through things
Hmm.
as needed. But we're halfway through and he turns to me, he's like, Mom, don't you love that she's a strong black female character? And I was like, I do. I love that you and stop placating me. Like, you
Yeah.
know this. You
Like,
know.
what are you fucking trying?
Because
You want
for
another
him,
bag of sweets? Get out of here.
I know. For him, he's like, he loves the swords and someone's head just got chopped off. He's like, this is great. But he's like, but mom, like, we're supporting the arts. And
Isn't
so
it really important that she's a strong black female, huh, Mom? Huh?
I was like,
And I get it, man. I'm cool. I'm cool with it. Some would say I'm woke. You're black. You are woke, man. Don't worry about it. I know. What can I say?
so that's like the latest. But no, I'm excited for when, so we haven't seen Spider-Man yet. It's on
No,
the
me
list.
neither.
Yeah, it's he made me so he's in England right now with his dad and he was like, don't go see it without me. Like, I won't, I promise. It's okay. Like, so when he comes back, that will be the next one that we go see together. So
Oh, nice. Okay.
yeah.
I do want to see
Yeah.
that Zazie Beats one. Like I saw it, I saw the trailer and I was like very quickly I was like, "Oh, I'm into this. Whatever this is, I like the idea of this." And
Yeah.
then it didn't I missed it at the theater here and then it just like I just or like I don't know was it I don't know where it was. Anyway, I missed the window of like it's here. So now it's just part of the never-ending watch list where it's like, well, it's
Yeah.
on there.
Yes.
I will
Yeah.
watch it. I will get round to it. But like, you know,
Yes. Yeah. It's fun. Like, it's definitely, it, yeah, I enjoyed it. But yeah, it was only out for like a hot second. Like, it was
mm,
not out for long at all. But what's the other? It reminded me of what's the one with is it Samara Weaving? How do you pronounce her
ready or
first
not,
name?
Samara.
Yes. Yeah. I
Yeah,
loved that one. I thought it was so fun. And that's what it
so
reminded me of.
fun.
It's very so I haven't seen the second that one's on my watch list is to see the second one.
Same.
Um so I'll get there eventually. And
I also
then
really like her. Like whenever I see her in interviews, I'm like, oh, you seem cool. You just seem like a
yeah.
normal person who is fortunate to be good at what you do.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
well done. Like so, yeah, I like her. I think she was one of the few good things about the third Bill and Ted film.
That one I didn't see. Loved the first one. I think I saw the second one and then didn't see it
Uh,
again.
Second one was big enough. Like with the name Ted, obviously Bill and Ted. We had to
Yeah.
watch those films a lot, and I did. I watched those films a lot, and you know that and Wayne's World were like big in our
Yes.
household,
Yeah.
and you know because of like Bill and Ted 2, I know who like about Faith No More, and like you know a lot of my music comes from those films. So when the third
Yeah.
one came out, I was like, oh, sick, man! I haven't seen Alex Winters in ages. Like he's great and stuff. And I love Keanu, and I love Keanu being a himbo. Like I just always enjoy that from him. And like we were watching it, and it was one of those things where I was like, I'm having a great time, regardless of what my brain thinks. I'm having a great time, you know. And like, there's definitely parts in it where you're like, that's good, but the rest of it, you're like, come on, come on.
Yeah.
Why have we waited 20 years for this? But yeah.
Oh man. Okay, but now I'm adding the first one to my watch list with my son because I don't think he's seen that one yet, and that one that
I
needs
mean,
to
that's a good
happen.
introduction to Carlin as well.
Yeah,
Like George Carlin is, you know,
yeah,
you want to get your kid into good political humor because that's what you want, right?
yeah. That's what we're going for.
Yeah.
That's what, we're very serious, very very
Yeah,
serious people.
you want, you know, George Carlin and Richard Pryor for like comedy, and that's all you need. That'll get you through it. It's not outdated at all.
No, no,
It's fine. It's
no,
fine.
no.
That was like two things that my dad like introduced to me young was like Pryor and Carlin, and like
Yeah.
even as a kid, I was like, I don't think this is for me, Dad. I think this is for adults. And he was
It's
like, no, no, no,
exactly.
no, no. This is good. This is funny. And I'm
Yeah.
like, all right. Feels like I shouldn't be watching this. He's like, just don't tell
That's
your mum.
always yes, and that's also tricky too. Like, having gone back to the '80s, it's like PG in the '80s. It's not PG now. Like,
Oh
there's
my
like
god. Like
the amount of
the amount of
I
things where
know.
you're just like, this is a PG. This is fine. I'm pretty sure that person just punched a hooker in a
Yeah.
PG.
Yes.
Why is there a hooker
Oh
in
my
a
gosh.
PG? And I'm using hooker in the 90s colloquial
Oh,
sense.
understood. I'm
Sex
with you.
worker
I'm with
is
you.
how I would...
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Entrepreneur. Yes.
Yes, I think sex
Yes.
work is honourable work, and I think as long as they're not being exploited, sex work is a great
Same.
choice.
Yes. It can be very empowering so long as, yes, minus
Bingo. The exploitation.
exploitation. Yes.
But hookers were getting punched in the 90s. Yeah, I think that is a bit of a minefield. Like, I don't know how I would deal with, showing a 10-year-old a film where it's like, oh, it was fine. Like, this film, I watched this as a kid. And then it's like, yeah, but there's a lot of things you shouldn't have... Like, I'm trying to think of something specifically. And I'm just looking at the wall of films. Like, the first Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles film, that's not for kids. That's too dark. The second one
It's
is...
Secret of the Ooze.
I mean, when was the last time you watched Secret of the Ooze? Because that
Oh,
one...
it's been a minute. Oh no. Oh no. Okay.
I said to Kirsty, like, oh, we should watch all three of them. I love all three. And then I watched the first one. I was like, yeah, the first one's really good. And then we watched the second one. And I was like, fuck, I need to apologize to my parents because I made them watch that a lot. And that is
And then
bad.
did you keep going to feudal Japan? Did we go to the third one?
Not yet. I have them on 4K, so I've got it in the best quality I can. What I found out recently is I love feudal Japan as a genre. So Shogun, love it.
Yeah,
Like,
so good.
I love a lot of Kurosawa films purely from that thing. Like, as a historical, I would say that's my era of, if you're going to give me a historical film, give me ancient Egypt or feudal Japan. I'm in. Like, you've got me. Like, that must have been Turtles in Time, even though that's the game. Like, that must have been my first awakening of like, oh, what are these samurais? They seem pretty dope, And then like, that's what's built on it. So much like we were saying, as a good writer, I've brought it right back round. If
Love
the
that.
price I had to pay was watching the third film, but I then learnt about feudal Japan, totally worth it.
There we go. There we
that.
go.
Look at that.
Education and entertainment. Love that. They go hand in hand.
Perfect. Is there anything that your son really wants to watch, but you cannot for the life of you sit through again?
Oh gosh. Oh, like he's already seen it and I'm just not into it at all. Or
No, I would say something
that
that he
I've
hasn't
gotcha.
seen.
Gotcha.
Yeah, something he hasn't seen, and you're like, no.
None that he's brought up yet. Yeah, nothing yet. There hasn't been, and I feel like I've kind of blocked out all the ones that I don't like.
Yeah.
So I don't have a good answer for you with that one just yet, but I'm sure it'll come up. And if he did, I think I'd still watch it just for the sake of like being curious about like how does this translate for him? And
Yeah.
I'm so curious to see if the same things, pick up for him that uh I didn't like. Like, you know what I mean? Like I think for science, I still would.
Yes. For science.
Yeah.
Always for science,
Yeah.
I think that's a good one. Well, thank you very much for coming on. It's been genuinely lovely to speak with you. I've had a lot of fun. If you have, that's great. If you haven't, don't worry about it. It's not
It
why I'm
has
here.
been so lovely. Thank you so much for having me.
It's been lovely that you had to talk to your mum. I think this is one of the things that I really like about this is that the amount of people that have been like, I had to go back and ask like my parents these questions, and it's like, good. Like, it's nice that there's this thing like you've had to really delve into it and like ask for like help like through the family, and I think that's a lovely memory to try and unlock, hopefully. But, yeah.
No, absolutely. And I think that that's such a key thing of it's a shared experience, right? Like at the end of the day, I mean, I love going to see a movie by myself, but I also more so love talking about it. And I love having, those memories with my brother, those memories, like knowing my mom's favorite movie, knowing my dad's favorite movie. Like I feel like it's such an identity. Those are identity markers.
Yes.
And I think kind of ties us together in a really interesting and meaningful way, just beyond the sheer entertainment of it all. So thank you for that connection. I'm sure she loved getting a call too.
Wonderful. Well, thank you very much. And yeah, it's lovely having you on. This has been a Lovable Rogue Productions podcast. Thank you to everyone that listened. If you want to help out Your Life in Film, Then download it, like it, share it, and give the pod a follow. I didn't realise till starting this that a download is the way they measure success and not just a listen. So, listening means nothing. Make sure you check out my guests on their socials, which will be in the description of the episode. Take a look at my letterboxd. I've made a list of all the films that have been mentioned on the pod. There's fucking hundreds. So you can find some good films there. There are some good ones. There's some fucking weird ones and I love them. Quick shout out to some of the podcasts I'm listening to. Caliber 9 from Outer Space. That's Rob and Joe's. That's really good. And then The Villain Was Right. That's a great fun. Check that out. If you really want to be a mensch, give me that money. There's a link in the description. It'll explain it all. But a download and a share is excellent, and I actually appreciate that a lot more than you'd think. We currently have no sponsors, but I am open to them. I'll shill anything. I don't care. This has been a Lovable Rogue production. Thank you for listening.